Oh, ladies, you're damn right. You can't read a man's mind. We're living in two tribes and heading for war. Nobody's perfect. We've all got to work it. But fellas, you're worth it. So don't break the law. Oh, calls me. Big mistake. You got to hang around a little for as long as that take. How good were Chelsea yesterday? How good were Chelsea yesterday? We were basically unstoppable. Now, of course, we were playing probably the most woeful team in the Premier League, probably the most woeful manager in the Premier League, probably a team that are going to be relegated, probably a team that I hope get relegated. But let us make no mistake that West Ham United were well and truly battered. And as things stand, West Ham United are going down. Tra-la-la-la-la. We have to focus on Chelsea, though. I thought that we were excellent. And with the exception of the goal that we conceded, I thought that we really were excellent. Basically, from start to finish, we dictated the tempo, we dictated the pace of the game, we dictated every single aspect of the game. And I think every single player won their individual battles, which is huge. Can I ask you, by the way, before we delve deep into the ramifications of what happened at Upton Park, and then we're going to be watching the Manchester City versus Tottenham game. Can you do me a favour and like this stream? It really does help me out. If you would be kind enough to click like on the stream, I would hugely, hugely appreciate it. Thank you very much. The performance in itself was about as good as it could be, and I think the what we can acknowledge is did you know what? As soon as it got to 1-0, in fact, even at 1-0 down, I never really thought that there was any jeopardy around the result. Like, we thumped West Ham away from home, a ground that we haven't historically been very good at. We absolutely battered a London rival inside their stadium, and I think that is huge. Like, I sometimes think that people don't necessarily acknowledge quite how significant the rivalry between Chelsea and West Ham is. Like, when I say I really want them to go down, people think, I'm being a bit snide or whatever. Of course I want West Ham to go down. Of course I do. I'm a Chelsea fan. Every Chelsea fan should want West Ham to go down. They're a massive rival of ours. They're one of our biggest rivals. East versus West London. And anyone that has ever been over there, I am telling you that the rivalry matters for a reason. Because there is a real hostility between Chelsea and West Ham. So it was a delight to see that happen. And I think that Graham Potter should be sacked. I know it feels like almost a ludicrous thing to say just 2 games into the season, but I really do feel like they need a change. Like, I can't see a world where Graham Potter isn't the first Premier League manager to lose his job. So whether that happens now, whether it happens tomorrow, whether it happens in 2 weeks, whether it happens in 6 weeks, Graham Potter, I believe, will be the first manager in the Premier League to lose his job. And yet, people think it's reactionary. People think, how can you possibly say that a manager should be sacked 2 games in? But I really think he should. He has clearly not got what it takes. You look at the team selection. How can you set up with a midfield duo of Thomas Souček and James Ward-Prowse? How can you possibly think that is the best team? When you've got that Potts. Like, Potts played every single game of West Ham's pre-season. Like, obviously, when I was on TalkSport, I was covering a lot of West Ham over the pre-season. And Potts was standout player for them. Energetic. And even when he came on, he did all right. And they've started a midfield with I just can't understand it. How can Thomas Souček, Thomas Souček's been a very good player for West Ham. I think he'll end up with icon status at West Ham. Like Ludek McCloskey. He comes from near Moscow and now he's in goal for West Ham. When he walks down the street, every man that he meets, they say, "Oi, Ludek." But I think that Thomas Souček is going to go down as a cult hero at West Ham. But it is just appalling. And do you know what? When the camera was cutting to Graham Potter, there was a moment when he's standing in that technical area. And it's a massive technical area at that ground. Massive. And he was like marooned. Solo. Isolated. Lonely. Out of his depth. You saw him standing there and you're like, this job is swallowing you whole. You aren't big enough. You don't have the presence. And do you know what? I got quite a lot of stick. Because on a show, I did a podcast with Mark Clattenburg. And on that show, I spoke about Graham Potter and I actually referred to him as weak. And people didn't like it. People said I was, affecting his men's mental health or whatever. I said he was weak. And I didn't mean it in a sort of insulting way. I meant it in the true definition of the word. I do believe that Graham Potter is a weak manager. I do believe he's a weak man. I don't think that he captivates. I don't think he's strong. I don't think he has a presence. I don't think he's inspiring. And everything that I know about West Ham United does not chime with who Graham Potter is and what Graham Potter is all about. Like, Graham Potter could potentially be, I don't know, a good Brentford manager when they ultimately sack Keith Andrews. It's only a matter of time. Maybe Graham Potter goes into Brentford, gets the time that he needs, gets the leeway that he needs. But yeah, I just can't see it. And I tell you what, it's when I get something wrong, people love to TikTok it or whatever, don't they? If I get something wrong, when I make a prediction that goes wrong, everything that I've said about West Ham United and Graham Potter has been totally and utterly accurate. Everything that I said has been totally and utterly accurate. Nobody's TikToking that. Nobody's making shorts out of that. Nobody's making little Instagram reels and reacting to me saying West Ham will go down. Nobody's making little reactive clips saying quite how bad Rory predicted Graham Potter would be at West Ham United. Yeah, it's a one-way street. How is everybody, by the way? What's going on? Give me the news, the gossip, the scandal. I am buzzing for this week of Premier League action. This should be a good weekend. I think that we have some huge games coming in. And I tell you what, it's not often I say this. I kind of want a Leeds victory. Pretty excited for a Leeds victory. And I need to let you know as well, by the way, we're going to be live tomorrow for two tomorrow, in fact. We're going to be live for 2 games tomorrow, and I cannot wait. So if you're tuning in now, massively appreciate it. But I'm going to go live for Palace Forest, purely because I want to watch that game. It feels like a massive game. It feels like one of the biggest rivalries in the Premier League at the moment. And I love those rivalries. Those organic rivalries that are created out of nothing. I'm really looking forward to watching that game. And then obviously we'll be live for the Fulham versus Manchester United game as well. I really want to be going live as often as possible. I love doing these, and I really do appreciate you tuning in. And like I say, if you could give the stream a like, we've nearly got 500 of you in here, which is a dream come true. That's the first benchmark to get 500 in. So I do appreciate you joining me. And apparently, if you like the stream, it helps. God knows why. Who knows? Does anyone know? Anyone got any wisdom on that? I certainly do not. But people say it. People far more successful than me always say like the stream. So I thought I'll copy them. Let me see what's going on in the chat here. What kind of coffee are you drinking? It's an espresso. I only really drink espresso. Occasionally a macchiato, but that is quite simply an espresso. Thoughts on the Nuno situation? I mean, it's madness, isn't it? It is madness what's going on. He was incredibly frank, incredibly open. And you know what? I also predicted Forest to have a bad year. I think Forest could be the surprise candidate of the season. Not necessarily, I'm not talking like drastically bad, but it sounds like Nuno Espirito Santo is on his way out. Apparently they were looking at Ange Postecoglou, which I think would be a totally disastrous appointment. Because if you think of the way that Ange is very combative, how does that go? Ange is on the front foot. He's quite aggressive. He's quite sneery. How is that going to go with a manager with an owner like Marianakis? Not very well is what I would say. But yeah, I think it's important to just acknowledge quite how brilliant Chelsea were last night. And we have a superstar to discuss, don't we? We have a superstar to discuss. Estevao, I like it, Estevao, I like it, Do you know the other thing that I think was huge? Did you hear the whole Chelsea away end singing "There's only one Graham Potter"? That was never sung. When he was a Chelsea manager. Suddenly he's the West Ham manager about to take them down, and he is singing. And the Chelsea fans are singing about how good Graham Potter is and what a great job he's doing. So yeah, I just think that we were magnificent. We were magnificent from start to finish. You look at the way that we performed away from home against a London rival, a team that were desperate for victory. 5 goals away from home in London. 5 different goal scorers away from home in London. Proper, real proper. And in the middle of it all, you are looking at a superstar, the birth of a superstar. Like the youngest player that Chelsea have had score, the youngest player that Chelsea have had create. Just amazing. Like truly, truly amazing. But yeah, I mean, West Ham were pitiful, weren't they? But it doesn't change anything. We have a Hollywood footballer in Estevao Willian. Like, the reason that we sold Madueke was because we have Estevao. The reason that we are allowing certain things to happen in the transfer market is because we are aware of this young, prodigious talent who is going to be a superstar. That's what he is. You look at the drive. You know, he gave the ball away for their goal, didn't he? Didn't let it affect him. He didn't let it affect his confidence. He didn't let it affect what he's trying to do. It didn't let it affect who he is. And then bang, on the front foot. Bang, bang, driving into the heart of that West Ham defence. Pitiful West Ham defence. But that is what you get with Estevao. I like it. Estevao. I like it. That song is going to be coming to an away end near you very, very soon. And yeah, I mean, the chance of one Graham Potter basically tells you everything that you need to know. Potter, you know, when he was standing there, arms crossed, just helpless. You know, I kind of feel like a manager like him would probably want to be sacked. Like, they're just conceding goals for fun, and I just don't think that he can get them out of it. And I feel like he knows that he can't get them out of it. That's how bad it is. I think he is fully aware that he doesn't have what it takes to get them out of the doldrums. And look, he isn't the only problem at the club. I'm not suggesting that he is the only problem at the club. He is one of the major problems at the club, and he is also the public face of the club, and therefore it will be him who pays with his job. You know, GSB will not be going anywhere. GSB will hold on tight until they can sell. But it's going to be him who tries and ultimately, in my opinion, at least fails to save West Ham United. So it is going to be pretty big, and I am very much looking forward to this live, because Manchester City versus Tottenham has all of the ingredients to be a real classic. I'm really looking forward to it. It could be a pretty brilliant game, this. Tottenham have a good record against Man City. Tottenham have the ability to massively upset Manchester City, and we've seen them do it before. We've seen them do it time and time again. And if they'd signed Eze, I'd be saying, oh, this game could go either way. But I feel like the signing of Eze going to Arsenal, I think that's had like a major impact on who Tottenham are, what Tottenham are about. It felt to me like Tottenham were moving in the right direction. It felt to me Tottenham were doing very well. They were asking all the questions. They had made manoeuvres since they won in Spain. They went to Bilbao. They won the Europa League. They beat Manchester United. They beat the great Manchester United. They ended the term Spursism. The ideology of Spursism suddenly became defunct. If you go to Spain and beat Manchester United in a European final, you're not Spursy anymore. Lads, it's Tottenham and all that. It's over. And then I thought that they did some good work in the transfer market. Mohamed Kudus looked like a man inspired against Paris Saint-Germain. They ran Paris Saint-Germain incredibly close. You then look at the signing of Palhinha, which I thought was a really inspired signing, exactly what they need, a better player, more proven player, more reliable player than Basuma, allows them to play in a different way. And off the back of bringing in Kudus, off the back of bringing in Palhinha, off the back of nearly bringing in Gibbs White, and it wasn't their fault that they didn't bring in Gibbs White, it's, you know, wild what's going on there. They then looked like they were going to bring in Eze. And they have managed to lose a one-horse race in order to bring in Eze. We have to go immediately to the Super Chat and the GGMU. I'm sure you know exactly who that man supports. Welcome, sir. Thank you for tuning in. Really do appreciate your constant support on the channel. The GGMU says, saw the Bayern Leipzig game. They look dangerous. Kane is the best player in the world. Elise, Diaz up top. Musiala and Davis yet to come back. Serious Champions League contenders. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Bayern Munich are always that. Bayern Munich are one of the biggest clubs in the world. Bayern Munich are a prestigious club and they deserve ultimate respect. And I agree with you about Harry Kane, by the way. I massively do agree with you. Like you have suggested here that Harry Kane is the best player in the world. And I'm inclined to agree with you. Do you know what? I think there are two players who deserve a Ballon d'Or. Not necessarily for this season, but just in their careers. Don't you think that it would be a travesty if Harry Kane were to finish his career without a Ballon d'Or? I think it's unjust because he is one of the best footballers in the world, and I think over the consistency he has demonstrated that he deserves a Ballon d'Or. I would also say Mohamed Salah. He cannot end his career without a Ballon d'Or. Those two players are well worthy of a Ballon d'Or. Like, I just think Kane is a genius. He's one of the best players that I've ever seen. He's one of the best players that has ever played in the Premier League. He is effectively a flawless striker. And if he had forced a move out of Tottenham when he should have done, if he had sacked his agent and gone and piled up with, one of those terrier agents, those bulldog agents, say he had phoned up Kia Jarabchian. Do you remember Kia Jarabchian, Willian, David Luiz, Javier Mascherano, Carlos Tevez? If he had gone and got Kia Jarabchian and said, Kia, I've signed a contract, my brother's a mug, get me out of this contract, please. Kia Jarabchian would have said, yes, I will. It will cost you 25 million quid, but yes, I will. And if that had happened, Harry Kane would have gone to Man City and he would have won a Ballon d'Or already. Harry Kane would have scored 1 billion goals for Man City already. He would already be the Premier League top ever goal scorer. He would already have won a treble. He would already have won multiple league titles. And I do think that it is a shame that he never got the move. Because history was not kind to the losers, effectively. There is another super chat that has landed from Hanjo. Hanjo, welcome, sir. Hanjo has said that Zlatan Ibrahimovic deserved one as well. The City lineup looks mad. Yeah, I mean, this Manchester City lineup, they're a team, aren't they? They are a team. And with Reinders, Oscar Bob, Cherki, Omar Marmoush, Haaland all starting, I mean, they are capable. They are majorly capable. But I do agree with you that Zlatan Ibrahimovic, the problem is, just to talk about Ibrahimovic, was Ibrahimovic ever the best player in the world? And if he was, what year do you believe was his best year? Because I don't think Ibrahimovic was ever robbed of a Ballon d'Or. Like, I think David Beckham was robbed of a Ballon d'Or. I think Thierry Henry was robbed of a Ballon d'Or. I think Robert Lewandowski was robbed of a Ballon d'Or. I don't think, off the top of my head, by the way, you could be right, and this is why I love these lives. This is why I love the back and forth that we have. You can educate me. I'm not telling you my opinion is correct. We can debate it, and I can lose, and I'll hold my hands up, and I'll go, do you know what? That's a 10-8 round to you, mate. But I don't believe that Ibrahimovic was ever the best player in the world. If he was, when? What year? What year was he actually the best player in the world? Ibrahimovic wasn't robbed of a Ballon d'Or. Not in the way David Beckham was. He wasn't robbed of a Ballon d'Or in the way that Thierry Henry was. I don't think, but you might be able to prove me wrong. The GGMU is back in the super chat and has said, I don't want to dwell this much on the past. He could still win the Ballon d'Or for another, say, 3-ish seasons. Benzema did it at 35, win the Champions League, and it's his. Yeah, I think Harry Kane could easily win it. I think Kane and Salah both deserve one. I think they both should win one. I think that they both deserve one. They both should end their careers with a Ballon d'Or because at various points they have both been the best player in the world. I truly believe that. Zlatan Ibrahimovic, I don't ever believe was actually the Ballon d'Or. I don't think his performances were ever genuinely Ballon d'Or worthy. Like, whatever season he was at his best, there was always someone better than him. Predominantly Cristiano Ronaldo. Predominantly Lionel Messi. But I can't really think of a year where Zlatan Ibrahimovic should be considered the best in the world. You Brits and your English players. I just said Thierry Henry. I literally just said Thierry Henry, mate. I said Thierry Henry was robbed of a Ballon d'Or. I said David Beckham was robbed of a Ballon d'Or. But Thierry Henry, believe it or not, is not English. I also said Robert Lewandowski was robbed of a Ballon d'Or that year that they decided to just not do it. But, yeah, Haaland was robbed. That's true. Haaland was robbed that year. That year that they won, he deserved it. He definitely did. I can't think of a year where I believed that Ibrahimovic was the best player in the world. I really can't. And, I mean, if we're being totally honest about it, Zlatan Ibrahimovic was never a better player than Didier Drogba. And their careers would have certainly been at the same time. So it is basically impossible for him to have won it because Didier Drogba never won it. And I don't hear anybody arguing that Drogba deserved it. But it's always a very contentious issue, the chat about it. The chat about the Ballon d'Or. It always gets people going, doesn't it? Really interesting one. Really, really interesting one. But this is good. We've done the West Ham chat. We focused on West Ham. We've spoken about the brilliance of Estevao. And now we need to focus on the game at hand. We are covering the Manchester City versus Tottenham game. By the way, I just need to go back into the super chat here. Hanjo is back and has said that Erling Haaland was the biggest agenda robbery ever with regard to a Ballon d'Or. I mean, I think that you are right. Erling Haaland deserved it that year. Of course he did. He scored 50 goals and his team won a treble. How can he not deserve it? I agree. It was like they gave it to Messi purely for the World Cup. And the problem with doing that is it's the World Cup isn't a metric of your year. I think what happens is when they're talking about Ballon d'Or winners, at UEFA or whatever, I think that they always prioritise the international tournament that year. Then they always prioritise the Champions League. So in the year where there's a Champions League, no European Cup, if you win the Champions League, you're probably going to win the Ballon d'Or. In a year where there is a World Cup, even if you win the Champions League, you will not win the Ballon d'Or. The Ballon d'Or will come from the country rather than the club, and I don't think that's right because you can win a World Cup. You play 7 games at a World Cup, and in those 7 games, you could lose 2 of them. So I don't think that it is the right way of doing it. But they're the rules. They're the metrics. That's how it works. Callum Colgan in the super chat has said, Virgil van Dijk deserved one also. Wouldn't say he was robbed, but definitely deserved one. Love from Ireland. Thank you very much, Callum Colgan. I've got a slightly controversial issue on this. I don't believe that Virgil van Dijk was ever the best footballer, primarily because I don't believe that a defender is ever the best footballer in the world. I don't think a goalkeeper should ever win a Ballon d'Or. I don't really like the idea of a defender winning a Ballon d'Or. And this is just a personal preference. The kind of footballers I like are the expressive footballers, the unpredictable footballers, the magic makers. Like, I will always prefer Cole Palmer over Virgil van Dijk. I will always prefer an Arjen Robben over Ricardo Carvalho. I will always prefer an Eden Hazard over a Petr Cech. I will always prefer an Eberechi Eze over a Rodri. And I appreciate that the job that you do in the team is incredibly significant. I appreciate that it doesn't necessarily tell the whole story, and you certainly can't win anything without the blend of everything. But for me, what being a footballer means, what being the best footballer in the world means, it doesn't mean being good at stopping others, which is what effectively a good goalkeeper does. It doesn't mean being good at stopping others, which is a large part of what a good defender does. For me, being the best footballer in the world should mean being the most dazzling artist in the world. Lionel Messi is a worthy winner of a Ballon d'Or. Thierry Henry would have been a worthy winner of a Ballon d'Or. Cristiano Ronaldo, a worthy winner of Ballon d'Or. I mean, when people start talking to me about Buffon, I just think that doesn't really work for me. It doesn't really wash for me. I just think that it should be the expression, the expressiveness. Like the year that Cannavaro won it. Obviously, it went very well for Italy at the World Cup. But I'm just not having that Cannavaro was the best footballer in the world that year. I don't even believe that he was the best footballer in his team. Like, what year did he win it? What year did Cannavaro win it? 2006 it must have been, right? Because of the World Cup in Germany. Who had a great season? I mean, that would have been Thierry Henry. Thierry Henry would have had a good year that year, wouldn't he? Thierry Henry would have undoubtedly had a good year that year. Zinedine Zidane would have probably had a good year that year. Who else was doing the business in 2006? Well, who did we do in 2006? We Barcelona. Mate, Ronaldinho. Ronaldinho would have had a good year that year. You know, when you think about football in 2006, who else was doing the business in 2006? That Barcelona team that won the Champions League, didn't they? Beat Arsenal. Samuel Eto'o. How's he not won the Ballon d'Or that year? Like, this is what I mean. They will always prioritise a World Cup over a Champions League or a domestic success. And that team, that 2006 Barcelona team that won in Paris against Arsenal, Samuel Eto'o and Giuliano Belletti, that 2006 Barcelona team was outrageous. How the winner of the Ballon d'Or didn't come from that team, I do not know. And how they've given it to a defender, by the way. A defender over one of the expressions. I genuinely do not know. I'm just going to dive back into the super chat here. And I've been asked a question from Mark Chow. Mark, thank you for watching the stream, sir. Mark says, bench, sell and buy. Kane, Haaland, Suarez. You buy Suarez, you bench Kane and you sell Haaland. Very, very easy. And that's completely accurate. There is nothing to discuss there. Thank you very much, Mark. We are going now to AR Colley, who says, do you play Fantasy Premier League? Who are the Chelsea players you would take? Cole Palmer, Estevao Willian, João Pedro. They are the players I would go for. Jason Roundtree says, scoring goals doesn't make you the best in the world. 0 goals from quarters on from Haaland. 0 goals from quarters on from Haaland. Messi had the same numbers as Dembele last season in the World Cup. I didn't necessarily say that it's about goal scoring. I didn't say that it's about goal scoring. I said it's about artistry. I like the artistry. Often the artistry ends in goals. Thierry Henry was an artist who scored a lot of goals. Dennis Bergkamp was an artist, scored a lot of goals. Zola was an artist, scored a lot of goals. Maradona, an artist, scored a lot of goals. I'm not saying it's goal scorers. I find goal scoring in itself not necessarily the art form that I rank in the highest form. Like, Erling Haaland scores 1 billion goals, but I don't think he's a particularly artistic footballer. I think it's about, like I said before, always give me an Eze type player. Give me a Cole Palmer type player over a Rodri type player. That's the way I see it. It isn't necessarily always only about scoring goals. The LFC Rant says, why is the game not live streamed on the club? We were live last night on the club, mate. Nico says, Messi had 67 goals and assists. Haaland had 66 goals and assists during the voting period. Messi won the World Cup as a goal scorer and a playmaker. Haaland won the treble as a goal scorer. Messi was and always will be better than Haaland. Yeah, mate. Lionel Messi and Erling Haaland do not play the same sport. By no stretch of the imagination am I coming even close to suggesting that Erling Haaland is a better player than Lionel Messi. They don't play the same sport. Lionel Messi is one of the most perfect specimens of football that I've ever seen. Lionel Messi's name will go down in history. If you want to understand football, if an alien were to land on this planet and you were to say, and they would say to you, what is this game I hear of called football? I would say Lionel Messi. Lionel Messi is football. Lionel Messi, the weight of pass, the vision, the ability, the personality, the bravery. He was a genuine artist. The man would dance with the ball. Erling Haaland is a big lummox who scores loads of goals. They don't play the same sport. I'm not saying that Messi is even comparable to Erling Haaland, but I am saying that Erling Haaland deserved the Ballon d'Or that year over Lionel Messi. Lionel Messi was... Mate, where was he playing? In America? Come on. Help me out, sir. Where am I up to? I'm fully up to speed. That's unlike me. I am fully up to speed. Let me dive into the chat and see what's going on. But that is where I sit on this debate. Always give me a true footballer. You know, like if you call someone a footballer, like I don't think that goalkeepers are footballers in the truest definition of the word. And that is what I'm after. That is what I will always prefer. Genuine footballers. So yeah, this is the beauty of going live. This is why I love going live like this. This is why I love these conversations, and I appreciate everybody for tuning in. The back and forth, the ebb, the flow, the sway. Like I say, you get your points in. I'll give you my points. We could debate it. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. Probably wrong most of the time. But I really, really do. But I really do appreciate that. Rory's using big words. I don't think I've used a word with more than like 3 syllables in it. Maybe it says more about your comprehension. Maybe it says more about your command of the English language. I can't think of one long word that I've used, mate. But stick around, you learn something. Everyone is a stat merchant nowadays. You are absolutely right. Neymar. Did Neymar win a Ballon d'Or? Should Neymar have won a Ballon d'Or? What year would Neymar have won it? What year would Neymar have been the best player in the world? Like that year, that Messi, Suarez, Neymar team. Was Suarez not a more standout candidate than than Neymar that year. LFC Rant says, do you think Pep Lijnders will instill some heavy metal football into this team? I think no. I don't necessarily think he will, because I just don't think that will work without Klopp's intuition. I don't think that you can do that without Klopp. I think Klopp is the very definition of that. So no, I don't think. I mean, I think we might see a whisper of it, but what I don't think we will do is see a sort of Liverpool under Pep and Liverpool under Pep Lijnders and Jurgen Klopp. I don't think that we will see a version of that. No. Interesting point there from Ethan, who says Gareth Bale should have won one. Again, if you are right, and I'm not saying you're wrong, Ethan, but if you are right, what year? Like, I can say to you, Thierry Henry should have won it. Thierry Henry deserved it in 2006. Undoubtedly. Thierry Henry probably deserved it in 2004 as well. So anything from 2004 to 2006, Thierry Henry deserved it, you know. Whereas I don't feel like there's a clear year that you can say Gareth Bale's the best footballer in the world. One of the best footballers in the world. Comparable to the best footballers in the world. But ultimately, I don't necessarily agree that Gareth Bale was robbed of a Ballon d'Or. True icon of the game, I'm not saying that. But I just don't necessarily see where he would fit in. Mark Chow is in the Super Chat and has said, can you imagine Eze as a starter in the World Cup? If so, who does he replace? It will depend purely on the bravery of Thomas Tuchel. Thomas Tuchel will either do the cowardly thing and play him as a left winger, or will do the brave thing and play him as a number 10 and accommodate around him. We'll have to wait and see. It will depend who has the best season. Like, it would depend. Does Cole Palmer have the best season? Does Jude Bellingham have the best season? Does Eberechi Eze have the best season? It will depend what happens this year. But what Thomas Tuchel needs to do is be brave enough to pick the best and not do what Gareth Southgate did, which was simply pick anyone, regardless of form. L. Dot is in the Super Chat. Thank you very much, L. Dot. I'll tell you what, this Ballon d'Or conversation has really got people going, hasn't it? It really has become like a real issue. People seem to massively care about the Ballon d'Or and who deserves it and who's missed out and whatever. I feel like it's quite a new phenomenon, people like massively caring about it. But I mean, I certainly put a lot of stock in it, probably more than I should. Like, I remember being incredibly, incredibly happy. Do you remember when Ronaldinho won it? Frank Lampard finished second. Steven Gerrard finished third. Lampard second, Gerrard third. I remember thinking, okay, like, I remember liking it a lot. But the L. Super Chat here says, do you think that Hazard deserved it for the 2016-17 season? I don't really think that he did overall. Let me see who won it that year. Like, the problem that anyone has. Let me see what the standings were. 2017 Ballon d'Or. Yeah, let's have a look. Who won the Ballon d'Or 2017? Right, it was a Ronaldo win. Right, it was Ronaldo, Messi, Neymar, Buffon. Oh my God. Am I looking at the right year? It can't be. 2017. Wait, where? Chelsea won the league. There's literally no representation whatsoever. Coutinho's on there at Liverpool, 29th. Edin Dzeko at Roma. This is ridiculous. Aubameyang at Dortmund. David De Gea. Oh, Eden Hazard, 19th. Below. Let me read the players that he's below. This is where it doesn't make any sense, right? So just to remind everybody what happened that year. That year, 2017, Chelsea won the league at a canter, accruing 93 points, having finished 10th the previous season. Like, we were immense that year, absolutely immense. And we lost the FA Cup final. We should have won the double. Arsenal done us in the cup final because Costa and all that were like celebrating all week, but we should have won the FA Cup as well. It's such a shame that we didn't win the cup that year. But listen to the players that they've said finished above Eden Hazard. Antoine Griezmann, Toni Kroos, Marcelo, Dybala, Kevin De Bruyne, Luis Suarez, Isco, Cavani at Paris Saint-Germain, by the way, Harry Kane at Tottenham, Lewandowski, N'Golo Kante at Chelsea. Mbappe at Monaco. Monaco and Paris Saint-Germain. It was the year he moved. Sergio Ramos, Luka Modric, Buffon. How can Buffon ever be above Eden Hazard in a Ballon d'Or chat? This is what I mean. Do you see what I mean about? The problem with sort of ranking footballers and including goalkeepers? Like, Buffon's obviously not a better footballer than Hazard. Obviously, like it's ludicrous. It's a ridiculous argument. But yeah, it is. I guess it is what it is. But no, should Hazard have won it that year? The year that Ronaldo won it, Messi finishing second? Probably not. I mean, Eden Hazard is an icon, but he's probably never. Well, he's never been a better footballer than Cristiano Ronaldo. He's never been a better footballer than Lionel Messi. Has he been a better footballer than Modric? Has he been a better footballer than Neymar? Probably, possibly. But the top two are the top two, and they're the top two for a reason. Anthony Holman, thank you very much for joining into the Super Chat. By the way, the game kicks off in about 5 minutes. So do me a favour, please like this stream. Really does help us out. If you would be kind enough to drop a like on this stream, it would be a dream to get to over 1,000 concurrent viewers. So if you could help us do that, I would be truly elated. Right, Anthony Holman in the Super Chat says, would another Golden Boot and PFA Player of the Year make Salah the undisputed Premier League GOAT? No, I don't think so. It certainly won't be undisputed. And I don't think he will ever be the Premier League GOAT. I just don't think he'll be able to do that. But what he can establish himself as is a genuine icon, which I think he's already done, to be totally honest with you. But I think he is now a great of the game. Premier League Hall of Famer. A Liverpool great. Somebody who will undoubtedly be in an all-time Liverpool 11. And when you think about the icons that play in an all-time Liverpool 11, you are looking at serious players. You are looking at like true icons of the game. He will be now mentioned alongside the likes of Graham Souness, Alan Hansen, Kenny Dalglish, Ian Rush, Steve Highway, Steven Gerrard. They are the names that he will be mentioned alongside. You know, if you think about the Liverpool all-time 11, it is basically icon after icon after icon after icon. I don't know who Liverpool fans will have to do this, and they'll do it far better than I ever could. But I feel like, from a Liverpool fan's perspective, in goal they're probably going to go, I don't know, Grobbelaar. Who would it be? Clements, Grobbelaar, or Alisson? Probably Clements, is it? Liverpool fans have to tell me. Fullbacks, Phil Neal definitely gets in, doesn't he? Phil Neal gets in. It might be Andy Robertson left back, you know, for all I don't know. Then I think it's definitely Alan Hansen and Virgil van Dijk. Then you're looking at Steven Gerrard in the middle with Graham Souness. Now I think we're talking Mohamed Salah. Ian Rush, Kenny Dalglish up front. Maybe you have to get someone like Roger Hunt in the team. Billy Liddell. Like, Billy Liddell's so good at Liverpool that they even called Liverpool Liddlepool. That's how good Billy Liddell was. But I think Salah has sort of overtaken. Salah has overtaken. Another super chat has just landed here from Amit. Amit, sir, thank you very much for tuning in. Says, do you think Jimmy Floyd-Hasselbaink and Andy Cole are underrated Premier League strikers? Absolutely. Both would be the best striker in the Premier League now. Undoubtedly. If both were playing now, both would be the best striker in the Premier League now. That is 100% true. Like, Jimmy Floyd-Hasselbaink is better than any striker that is currently playing football in the Premier League. As a centre-forward. Nobody comes close to Jimmy Floyd-Hasselbaink. Andy Cole is obviously the best striker in the Premier League if he were playing now. I mean, he was arguably the best. He wasn't quite the best striker in the Premier League then, when there were icons around. But it is undoubtedly true that both would be the best in the league now. Like, Jimmy Floyd-Hasselbaink at Middlesbrough, at Chelsea, at Leeds, it was just goals and goals galore. It really was. Like, truly unbelievable. Quite how good he was. So yeah, I've got no doubt. That both would be. I've got no doubt that both would be the best. Absolutely, undoubtedly. Right, are you getting ready for this game? I'm very much looking forward to this game because I've got a feeling that this could be a pulsating clash, and I'm really looking forward to it. Can you do me a favour just before we go? Just before the game kicks off, I need you to get your score predictions in. What do you think the score finishes? I need your honest score predictions. Let's see if anyone gets it right. If you get it right, there might be a prize in it for you. There might not be, by the way, but there might be. Who knows? I might be feeling generous. But let us see. Let us see how this goes. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Jimmy Floyd-Hasselbaink in the Premier League now, best centre forward in the league. Andy Cole in the league now, best centre forward in the league. And Andy Cole would actually be one of the best strikers in Europe. I don't think Andy Cole's as good as Harry Kane. But after that, like Andy Cole better than anyone in the Premier League, obviously. I'm trying to think of who even comes close. To Andy Cole. Harry Kane versus Andy Cole is tight, but I'd be inclined to say that Harry Kane is a better player than Andy Cole. Another super chat has just landed here, by the way, and I am ever grateful to everyone for tuning in. By the way, just before the game starts, we're moments away from it kicking off. Do you think we could get over 250 likes? Is anyone watching this stream that hasn't clicked like? Could you somehow get us over 250? Right, we're up to 200. 50 is quite a lot in one, but I shouldn't have done that. I should have gone for an easier target. Should have just said 200. That would have been the sensible thing to do. Just say 200, Rory. David Steinhardt in the chat here says, I hate Tottenham, but that lineup, glow up, is insane. Just need a better number 9, I think, back to being a top 6 club. You're wonderful, by the way, 2-1 City. I hope you're right about 2-1 City. Your compliment is incredibly kind. Really, really do appreciate that. I'm not sure I agree with you in terms of the glow. I think it's a good team, but I think that the glow up, if that's what the cool kids call it now, of the Tottenham enterprise, it's the manager. Thomas Frank's a serious man. He's a serious manager. Thomas Frank is a proper football man. He's a proper proven football manager. He's a proper Premier League guy. All this nonsense, Postecoglou and Nuno Espirito Santo at Tottenham was never going to work. Conte was never going to work at Tottenham. Mourinho was never going to work at Tottenham. This isn't that. This is proper. They've got the man that they need in when they need him, and that is where the glow-up occurs. What is great about this Tottenham team is Thomas Frank. Like, Thomas Frank is the personality of the team. He is what Tottenham need. And annoyingly, it really upsets me because I don't want Tottenham to do well. I don't want Tottenham to succeed. But Tottenham appointing somebody like Ange Postecoglou, Ange Postecoglou was a joke, but Tottenham have finally got an appointment right. Romero and Ruben Diaz are in the middle, shaking hands now. The refs about to blow the whistle. This is a massive game. For Tottenham to almost redefine who they are off the back of the embarrassing week that they have had, they really do need to get this right. They need to get this performance in. They need to get something out of the game, I think. Whether they will or not is a very, very tricky question. But I feel like they do need to get something out of this game, Tottenham, because the noise around the club has been a disaster this week. It's been a total embarrassment to them this week. But things are different here. Things are different. And it's Tottenham who are about to get us underway. The camera's doing that mental thing, it goes panning around the middle. The City Stadium, the old Etihad Main Road and the Kipax is looking in glorious, glorious early morning form. Looks slightly autumnal in Manchester. Doesn't look quite as sunny and hot as it is in London's fashionable West End. But we are about to be underway here. Tottenham, weird shape they're in. Okay, they played it all the way back to the goalkeeper. We are underway. And it has gone long, long, long. If anybody wants to sync up with me on the way, the pace at which I'm watching the game, I will let you know exactly where I am up to. We are 17 seconds in. 18, 19, 20, 21. And the game is well and truly underway. It's Manchester City kicking from left to right. Erling Haaland has played a wasteful ball, and it is easily intercepted by Christian Romero. And the Tottenham fans are making a lot of noise in that corner. You can see them. It would have been a very early start for them. Nobody cares about travelling football fans. Nobody cares that Tottenham fans have to get all the way to Manchester with rail replacement issues at 12:30 in the morning. Obviously, the people that don't matter the most are the people that go to the game. But we are well and truly underway here. And it is a massive game for City. City looked immense, that opening day at Wolverhampton Wanderers. The way that they played, the way that they dictated the tempo, the way that they were effusive, the way that they were so clever, the way that they scored glorious goals and played some beautiful football. And I thought that City were going to struggle this year, and one of the major reasons I thought they were going to struggle this year was because they did not have Kevin De Bruyne. I thought they will not be able to continue without De Bruyne. There is no way in this world that they will be able to get anywhere without Kevin De Bruyne. And suddenly, he's miscontrolled it. I think it slips in for Haaland. Miscontrol there could have done Tottenham a real mischief. Brennan Johnson in the starting lineup for... That is something that I cannot get my head around. I know he scored a lot of goals last year, but I just don't get Brennan Johnson at all at this level. I really, really do not get it at all at this level. Did you see, by the way, the Tottenham fans went to the Emirates to... They've defaced... Do you know that Eberechi Eze... Have you seen the Eberechi Eze mural that is up at Arsenal? They have gone and destroyed it, the Tottenham fans. Shows you the venom, shows you how they're feeling about it. Really, really not happy. Another super chat, by the way, has landed from L. Dot, who says, as an amateur rugby player, would love your opinion on rugby. I know it's a football stream and comments don't kill me, but would you go watch a game? Do you know what, mate? I'm not really into the rugby. Like, I like England to win. I watch a bit of the Lions, a bit of the Six Nations. I get into it during that. But the idea of kind of supporting Harlequins or whatever it would be doesn't really do it for me. But what I would say is, when the Six Nations is on, or the World Cup or whatever, like, I remember being in the pub when Johnny Wilkinson won England the tournament. What would that have been, 2003, something like that? But no, I'm not really a rugby guy. But look, I was pleased to see the Lions do well. And that has got to be a foul, right? That is a foul. He's an interesting player, isn't he, Oscar Bob? Very, very good player. And he could be a key for Manchester City this season. He really could. He could have a massive role to play for Manchester City this season. I'm looking around at the atmosphere in the ground. I could see the Tottenham fans making a bit of a racket. But it does look a bit flat. It does look a little bit flat, doesn't it? You know, I guess that it is purely the early kickoff. You know, like it's very rare that the home stadium is ferocious for a lunchtime kickoff, which is a shame because this game should have like a real energy to it. It should have a real zip to it. But we'll have to see if the game can deliver, even though the atmosphere at the moment looks a little bit flat. Yeah, it's a big one. It's the second time, isn't it? North London versus Manchester. Last week we had North London versus Manchester. We got it again this week. But yeah, can you believe that Eberechi Eze painting has been destroyed already? Yeah. Do you know, I'm just looking at the benches here because I'm thinking if the game like ultimately kicks into gear at some point, I'm looking at the City bench. It is crazily good. Doku, Foden, Rodri, Bernardo Silva, Ederson. Mate, that's crazy, isn't it? That is absolutely crazy. That is absolutely crazy. What an amazing, what an amazing bench that is from City. That could be, you know, one of those benches that gets clipped up and goes down in history. You know, when somebody puts a picture of the bench up, and people are like, that has to be one of the most glamorous and talented benches that we have ever seen. When you think about the players that are on the Manchester City bench today, Rodri, Foden, Doku, Ake, Bernardo Silva, Ederson. Like Rodri on the bench. Be interesting to see if Rodri gets any minutes. Be interesting to see. That's right. Let's see what happens here. Let us see. There is a free kick in a fairly promising position, and we know that Thomas Frank sets his team up to be efficient at set pieces. When Thomas Frank would have been strategizing how to get a victory at the Etihad, he would have been looking at it and thinking the way that they need to do it is to create Manchester City a load of havoc, to cause them a load of problems in exact situations like this. You can see that City are worried. You can see Reinders there taking it very seriously. Haaland clearly taking his defensive duties very seriously. John Stones clearly taking his defensive duties very seriously. Is it a good delivery? It's gone very far wide. To come back across, interesting angle, interesting idea from Tottenham. And Tottenham asked the first real question. Very impressive stuff there from Thomas Frank. He had a routine set up, and that is going to be a real tactic that is to put lovely feet there. Beautiful feet. God. That is clearly going to be a tactic that is deployed by Tottenham this year. We saw them against Paris Saint-Germain do very well when it came to set pieces. And they're clearly going to be doing something similar again. Mohamed Kudus there did excellently well. Oh, another super chat has just landed. Incredibly kind of you from the Chronic Ty II, who says, wonder what would happen if Eze scored at the Tottenham ground this season. I mean, you won't have to wonder for long. That happens. Don't you think? Don't you think that football just has sort of a poetry? Like I feel like certain things are just going to happen this season. Morgan Gibbs-White will score against Tottenham. Eberechi Eze will score against Tottenham. I just feel like there are certain things that are written perfectly. Alexander Isak will score against Newcastle. Obviously not this weekend, but this season he will score against Newcastle. I just think that these things are written in the stars. Football is poetry. Like, football is poetry in motion. And there is undoubtedly a world where all of those things happen. You just know it. Richarlison will score against Liverpool. You know, the Everton link and all that. He always turns it on for the big games. I think that you won't have to wonder for long, the Chronic Ty II. You will not have to wonder. The L. says, top 5 aftershaves, Roy. Mate, I barely wear aftershave, you know. Honestly. I don't like the smell of perfumes. I find them all a bit overpowering. Like, you know, when you get in a lift with somebody and they're covered in aftershave, I don't like it. A little bit of old-fashioned Brute as a deodorant, and that'll do me. That will do. You know, when I meet someone, they got all that oud on or whatever. When I give my mum a hug, my mum's covered in perfume all the time. I just find it all a little bit overbearing. Xhaka will score against Arsenal. I've just seen in the chat there. Absolutely. Xhaka will score. There are sometimes in football, just let the poetry take over. It's just what it's going to be. There is a very interesting, promising free kick here for Tottenham on the edge of the Manchester City box. Lined up. Doesn't beat the wall. You have to beat. Oh, that was pinged from Pedro. Pedro Porro gives it a real wallop. I mean, he gets the first one all wrong, hits the wall. It comes back to him. If he'd been a bit cleverer there, he might have been able to slip it through for Kudus, you know. He might have been able... Was it Kudus? Maybe Sa. He might have been able to just slip it through. There was an opportunity. In the end, he's just lashed it wide. Yeah, he's an Old Spice man's man. That's right. No, I'm a brute loyal. Only the good stuff. Oh, Man City! Oh my God! A brilliant effort there. Off the back. Oh gosh, I can't believe it. It looked like Manchester City were about to go 1-0 up. I think Pedro Porro has had a mare. It's just a long ball, hopeful ball over the top. Haaland sort of gets in the way. Pedro Porro makes a pig's ear of it completely. I think it might have been saved actually for a corner. Or maybe not. Maybe he's just pulled the shot wide. But that frailty at the back is a real worry for Tottenham. Because you just cannot make those kind of mistakes. You just cannot make those kind of mistakes. Just not quite good enough there. Really not good enough. So it shows you that this could go either way. We've seen a couple of half chances at both sides here. You know, and this can go either way. I think the opening goal is going to be like defining. Absolutely defining. Lovely interchange of football here from Man City. Or a brilliant tackle there. Excellent tackle. Paulinho, I believe. That was an unbelievable tackle. That is why you sign a player of his quality. That is the point in bringing in a proven player like Paulinho for that exact moment there. That exact sort of challenge. Oh, and what Tottenham? Oh my God, it's all gone wrong. It's all gone wrong. Manchester City have made a pig's ear of it at the back. Don't know what Trafford is playing at there. Crossed into the far pie. He's hit it too far. There was a real mix-up, though. This game, I mean, it's error-prone already. I don't know what Thogden is playing at in net. But yeah, I mean, he's just not quite got the hold. Oh, Richarlison, if he'd got a little bit more on it. The interception from Richarlison just took him wide. Sort of won the ball, but the tackle just had a little bit too much on it, and he took him wide. Otherwise, he was going to have an open net. The game is hotting up. We are 11 minutes into the game, and it really is hotting up. Van der Ven with a pointless foul there. What are you doing? What are you doing? Like, just give away possession in those like cheap circumstances. So unnecessary. So unnecessary. Yeah, Tottenham will be growing in confidence in this game. They really will. Right, free kick taken quickly here by Man City. Manchester City is all very intricate stuff that they've done very well here. They found a bit of rhythm, lovely feet, Jinx inside, brilliant. Switches the play, oh, well intercepted. Richarlison holds it up. No, he does not. So that's what he needs to do better. He's moaning about getting kicked in the back. You need to hold the ball up. You need to be stronger. You need to give the release. Oh, lovely feet, mate. Good save there. Vicario comes out to swallow the ball effectively. Just sort of totally like swamp the place. I think Marmouche is asking for more from the City faithful. He's asking for more noise, more elevation. Marmouche does really well, but Vicario comes out and smothers it. Yeah, Marmouche is asking for more noise from the City fans. It does look flat in there. It does look a little bit flat. That's a wasteful pass. Giving the ball away. Just let it go out of play. Surely, Porro. Yeah, leave the ball. Ruben Diaz just clips it out of play for no real reason. No real reason, but the game is starting to hot up a touch. Starting to hot up. Yeah, we are in need of a goal. This game needs to burst into life. You can see that the stadium needs some action, needs something to happen. Tottenham playing out from the back here. It's a dangerous strategy. Haaland is pressing like a lunatic. Done well, Tottenham, though. They're pretty much on the halfway line now. Kudus holds it up. Great tackle. Excellent tackle there. Really, really impressive. Another super chat has just landed here, by the way. And it says, do you think Manchester United can be successful under Amorim? I mean, it's a really broad question. And I mean, the definition of success is also a very vague concept for Manchester United these days. If you're talking about success in the tradition of Manchester United, I would argue no. Manchester United will not be successful by their former glory standards under Ruben Amorim. I don't think he's the manager to take them back to the title. No. Success this year, though, could they win some silverware? Could they finish in the top 6? Could they potentially finish in the top 5? Is that your metric for success? If that is your metric for success, then yes. Yes, I do believe that Ruben Amorim can succeed at Manchester United. But I believe Manchester United fans, and I think this is the standard that the club should have, when Manchester United fans use the word success, they aren't talking about top 5. They're talking about winning the league. They're talking about winning the European Cup. They're talking about winning doubles. They're talking about winning the FA Cup at the very least. Surely he's offside here. Yeah. So that would be my take on that one. The Ellis Hurst, thank you very much for your contribution to the show, sir. Really do appreciate you getting in on streams like this. I love these lives. I love doing them. But it's so reliant on you lot, isn't it? So if you're watching, please do click subscribe. It would be an honour to welcome you into this community. So please consider joining. I'm going to be going live all the time. Got 2 games live tomorrow. We're going to go live for Forest Palace. Just can't wait for it. Just can't wait. It is, on some definition, game of the weekend. Obviously, the goings on at St James's Park are going to be pretty massive as well. And sadly, I can't be live for that. I'm heartbroken, but I can't make it. But we'll be live twice tomorrow, so make sure that you're around. Click subscribe as well, so that you get the notification when I go live. Click the little bell or whatever it is. And there is an injury concern here for Pep Guardiola. Rodri is on the bench, though. Is this going to be the moment? Ow! Is this going to be the moment that Rodri is announced back to the world? Sitting next to Bernardo Silva. That is seriously some bench, isn't it? I think Bernardo Silva's just having a cup of coffee. He's such a cool dude, Bernardo Silva. I reckon I'll be good mates with him, don't you think? Me and Bernardo, we'd go for a coffee in Lisbon together and that. We'd have a great time. It's a brilliant block there. It really is an expert, determined block from Aït-Nouri, I think. But I think he's injured himself in doing so. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see what is going to happen here. Yeah, we will have to see what happens here. But could this be the moment? If there is a world where Aït-Nouri is injured, are we potentially going to see something happen? Could it be the moment that Rodri is announced back? Do you know that question that we recently had in the Super Chat about Manchester United? Do you know we're going to find out a lot about who Manchester United are this weekend? Like we will have a real answer as to who Manchester United are tomorrow, 4:30, and we're going to be live on this channel covering the game with a special guest, by the way. But if Manchester United beat Fulham, I think that's a bit of a statement result for them. They go to Craven Cottage and win off the back of losing to Arsenal. I think that's a bit of a statement result. If they go to Craven Cottage and draw or lose, I feel like they're kind of back to square one. You know, I feel like they feel quite positive in the defeat that they got to Arsenal. I think there's a lot that they can take from that game to suggest that they can be positive this season. But if they don't beat Fulham, back to square one. So I think that we will find out exactly who they are next week. Oh, not next week, tomorrow. Oh, it's a great effort. It is a great effort there from Marmoush. Well saved. City are starting to exert some pressure here. City are really starting to exert some pressure. But Tottenham have won the ball back and they have the opportunity to break, but they're giving it away. And Aït-Nouri picks the ball up. Played inside to John Stones. Okay, they're building here. They're building. Yeah, it does seem to be happening for Man City. Tottenham are getting deeper and deeper and deeper. And yeah, I can't remember the last time that Tottenham had any kind of passage of play. Just to confirm, the ball is still in the possession of Man City. The ball is now at James Trafford's feet. So we've been talking for quite a long time here, and Tottenham haven't been on the ball. James Trafford has gone long, really long, to literally nobody. Just played it at 80 yards. Yeah, but what is the point of that? That is just not how it works at Man City, mate. Like you do that too often, and you're going to be out of the team. Like he's basically played the ball, I don't know, 70 yards onto the head of Jed Spence for literally no reason. Like you just cannot do that. You just cannot do that at Man City. Right, Tottenham now have the ball at their feet. Let's see how long they can look after it for. Let's see if they can build. Right, still in the possession of Tottenham. Yeah, they're still completely in possession. They seem to be building. They've given it away. Played a hopeless ball down the channel, asking so much of Mohamed Kudus. It's just not good enough. Akanji, by the way, is warming up. Aït-Nouri is not comfortable. He did everything that he could. Put his neck on the line to win a tackle, and it's exactly what you want to see, and sadly he's injured. Incredible commitment from Aït-Nouri, though. It's horrible that that's had some sort of damaging impact on potentially his afternoon. Right, City are in behind here. It's a terrible pass. It's a sloppy. Like, really sloppy. If that ball is played more accurately, City are completely in behind. Like, what is going on? Why are they not just like City are meant to be? Like, elite, pinpoint, direct. You know, laser guided. And it's all just a little bit wayward, a little bit haphazard. It's all just not quite good enough. This is all right. Well won. Haaland lays it off. Okay, we seem to be getting somewhere now. City with a little bit of passage of play, knocking the ball around nicely. It's good, lovely football here from City. Lovely interchanging stuff. Played blindly across the area to nobody. Jed Spence picks the ball up as it rolls hopelessly across the entire area. Although he wins himself the goal kick. Just so easy. They're not doing anything. They're just not asking any questions. Yeah, they're just not asking any questions. So no, it's very sloppy. It is very sloppy indeed. So we'll have to see if they can. We'll have to see if they can elevate their performance. But at the moment, nobody. I mean, Tottenham will be far happier with how this is going. Of course they will. Tottenham will be I imagine, over the moon with how this is going. This is exactly what Tottenham want. Tottenham want the game to be as dull and slow and stagnant as possible. Like, Thomas Frank is over the moon at the moment. A draw for Tottenham off the back of winning their first game of the season, a draw here is a brilliant, brilliant result. You know, it really is. But at the moment, this just is not good enough at all. And so we will have to see how this goes. But City are going to have to elevate. City are going to have to do so much better than this, because at the moment they're at home and they basically haven't asked anything. They haven't put anyone under any pressure at all. You know, they've broken well at points. You know, Reinders driving through the middle. It's been impressive at times, but they are getting it wrong. Marmoush has been asking for more from the City fans. But yeah, it does look all a little bit flat, and that is the end of Ray and Nori's afternoon, by the way. It's a shame because he put in a tackle. He put in an excellent tackle, a committed tackle, the kind of tackle that you want to see your team put in, and he's going to pay for it with the end of his afternoon. Real shame for Nori. He's going off. He's walking off. He's not crocked. So hopefully it's just a bit of discomfort and he'll be fit and ready to play next week. Akanji is on, by the way. Some depth that, isn't it? Nori off, Akanji on. So, yeah. Good depth. Yeah, it's just not quite... It's just not quite what Guardiola needed this. This is a real big blow for Guardiola. You know, they do have a very handy... They do have a very good replacement on the bench, obviously. Like Nathan Ake coming on is obviously a brilliant replacement. But in terms of what Nori offers going forward, it's so much more impressive than what Ake will. So we'll have to see. A couple of super chats have landed. Thank you very much to the Genius Genie, who says, love how every striker right now is better than Haaland until it's time to actually prove the fact and everyone fails at it. I don't think everybody's better than Haaland. I think Alexander Isak is better than Haaland. I think Harry Kane is better than Haaland. I don't think anyone else is better than Haaland, though. I can't think of anybody else. Genius Genie, you'll have to let me know. Who are you hearing people say is better than Haaland, apart from the players that I just mentioned? Who are? Like, Harry Kane is obviously a better player than Haaland. Do you agree with that at least? Haaland's been off it this game as well. Where is he? Barely touched the ball. Also, the Warwick Wilmot says, you've got to be pumped about Estevao. I mean, you are absolutely right. Greetings from the USA. We have gone international. We've gone transatlantic. Welcome to the Warwick Wilmot. Where are you watching from, sir? And with regard to Estevao, all I can say is, Estevao, I like it, Estevao, I like it, This is hopeless from Tottenham. Absolutely hopeless. Just blasted straight over and out of play. Like Thomas Frank's doing his Sweden on the bench. Not impressed at all with what he has seen so far. Because basically this is just not good enough. Not good enough from either team, actually. I think both teams have been fairly underwhelming, fairly uninspiring. So yeah, this game does need something. This is exactly what Marmoush was asking the Man City players. Like, something needs to change here. Right, Tottenham are in behind. Let's see if they can get something out of this game. But it's Brennan Johnson, one to beat. Obviously doesn't beat him. Yeah, you know that Brennan Johnson back post tap-in? He's going to play a lot of football that he shouldn't play purely because of that thing that happened last year when he kept ending up on the back post scoring goals. Estevao, I like it, From Panama City Beach, Florida. Mate, I've never even heard of Panama City Beach, but I bet it's beautiful. Somebody told me that in Florida, the place you have to go, everybody talks about Orlando or Miami or whatever, but somebody told me it's called Naples. Naples in Florida. You ever been there? Apparently that is the nicest place to go in America. Certainly in Florida. But I've never been. Never been nowhere. No one takes me nowhere. Right, City are in behind. Oh, you pillock. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Marmouche. Marmouche is just like, it was a really promising break on. Brilliant opportunity for City to get underway. And Omar Marmouche is just totally not touched the ball. Just taking his eye off the ball. The ball is drifted out of play for a Tottenham throw-in. That was a promising moment as well. I mean, you'd almost say 3-on-3 there. That results in a shot on goal, which could quite easily result in a goal. But Marmouche made a real pig's ear of it. Right, City are starting to mount a bit of pressure here. Oh my God, he's just driven a ball out of play again. That's absolutely useless. Useless. Like, what is going on? Pep Guardiola turns away in disgust. I'm going to level you. This is not the best game of football I've ever seen. This has been torturous. Torturous. Like, really, really poor. Florida is overrated. Okay, this is what's going to happen now in this stream. The football has been so average that, no, where's everyone watching from? Right, let's chat. Hang on, let me get in here. Right, I'm going to put where I'm watching from. Everybody put where you're watching from. There you go. I've done it first. Bang. Lyrical blow to the jaw. Where's everybody watching from? The game, I'll tell you what, the game, they're going to suffer. These players are going to suffer because I'm barely watching it for the next 1 minute. Oh, hang on, Haaland's on something here. And he's got lucky. And it's not a goal. Haaland got so lucky. He played the ball through and it ended up being like a dreamlike assist. But I'm convinced that was a lucky assist. Brilliant run from Haaland. Plays it into Marmouche. Marmouche plays it against keeper. Good save. Best passage of play that we have seen in 28 minutes of watching this dull dross. You know when John Terry was talking about not watching Premier League football anymore? This is why. This has been dreadful. What's going on? Clipped over the top. Meaningful pass. Come on, that was rubbish again. Easily defended, easily controlled. Blazing to Richarlison, who dives looking for a free kick. Richarlison just moaning on the floor. Oh, this is just dross, isn't it? Okay, City have a free kick now. City have a free kick. What a load of old toffee. Right, back into the chat. Let's see what's going down in Chinatown. What is happening? Hereford. Okay, we've gone majorly international. We're in Hereford. Oh, hang on. No, there's more. Good news. Liverpool, L8. That's what I like to see. I think I lived there. When I was at university, did I live in L8? Where's L8? I lived on Smithdown Road. Forget what that was. L3, I can't remember. Stockholm. Mate, have you ever been to the Rosunda Stadium? Gianfranco Zola against Stuttgart. Wallop off the back of the Dennis Wise assist. Gainsborough. DN. I think I've been to Gainsborough. Lisbon. Ooh la la. Now we're talking. Australia. Right, now we're cooking. Oxford. Sydney. Yes, sir. Kassel, Germany. Never heard of it. Who do you support? Lillehammer. Isn't that where Silvio Dante went in that new series? He went to Lillehammer. Have you seen it? Silvio Dante goes to Lillehammer to try and get away from the mob. Lyon, France. Bonjour. Beirut, Lebanon. Mate, I need to go there. Everybody's telling me that Beirut is the place to go for like youth culture. Music, coffee, food, like artists. Never been. I need to go. It's disappeared. Who was my friend in Beirut? Can you hook me up? I need to get some work in Beirut. I need to go to Beirut. Is there a football team I can come and watch in Beirut? I want to talk to someone there. I want to come, do a video with them and experience life there. County Down. What about Kerry in the All Ireland? Get up there. The Kerry men, the kingdom. Bangladesh. What is happening? Shakib Gaming. Love that. Singapore. Perth in Australia. Kettering. Yes, sir. Okay, we have actually gone international. I thought that was quite... L15 is a Smith down. Amin's back. Amin, mate, how do I get to Beirut? Everybody's telling me. Everybody in London is talking about Beirut for being like the youthful hub, the place for artistry, the place for music, the place for like graffiti, the place for just like youthful life. DJs are doing like brilliant things over there. Is that what you're seeing? And if there is, mate, I need to go. I need to go. Rory McNichol, you got a good name, sir. New Zealand, wicked. Oh, we got South Africa. John Sapire, South Africa. Imagine that. Just drinking a glass of Stellenbosch, looking at Table Mountain, watching me watch Tottenham bore me to tears. You're living a dream, mate. Danny Aridi says, you'll love Beirut. I know. How can I go? I need to make it a work trip, man. I can't just be going on holiday without my family. My kids wouldn't allow it. If I told my 6-year-old I'm going away without her, she'd go mad. It has to be a work trip. Bondi Beach. Mate, you are living some dream. Mauritius, nah, this is getting ridiculous. South Devon, beautiful, man. Grimsby, the actual place for youth and music. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Quite possibly the worst half an hour of football I've ever seen in my entire life. Literally in my entire life. I don't think I've ever, in the history of football, watched a worse half of football than this. Nothing's happened. Like, literally nothing's happened. I know. As I said that, City kind of burst into life with Haaland holding up the ball, sort of driving through the middle, sliding in Marmoush, and if that had ended up going in, it would have been a different thing. But apart from that one moment where Marmoush basically blazes it at Vicario, this is the worst football I've ever seen. Did you all see John Terry's comments about like modern day football? He basically said that he can't watch it. Which ain't great, you know. It's not like a true football man like that, not being able to stomach modern day football. Ain't no good, is what I would say. It ain't no good. By the way, the super chat has been popping off. Sorry. The Genius Genie says, dark horse team and player this year. Crystal Palace, dark horse team. I think they'll have a really good season if they back the manager. The problem is, when I made this prediction, I thought they were going to keep Eze and back the manager. And they've lost Eze and they're not backing the manager. But Palace, with Glasner. Glasner's one of the best managers in the world, man. Proper geezer, proper manager. So I'll go Glasner and Palace, but that's what I said before, so I can't really change it now. In terms of a player, dark horse player, who's going to have a good season? What? Somebody that you wouldn't necessarily predict is going to have a good season, but is going to... I'll tell you, he'll have a great season. Granit Xhaka will keep Sunderland in the Premier League. And that in itself is a great season. So they are my dark horse. And there's another super chat from Michael Lamb who says, he's an Australian Tottenham fan. All right, mate. Yeah, all right, mate. Get on the Barbie. His dad is an actual Scouser. Your dad's a Scouser. Why are you a Tottenham fan then? Michael, what are you doing? Rory, come back to Liverpool. I loved it there. Mate, I lived in Liverpool for 4 years of my life. I really loved it. I mean, I came back to London every other week to watch Chelsea. And I come back to see my mum, get my washing done. So I didn't exactly like commit to life at university. I came home all the time. I passed my driving test just so that I could drive home to watch Chelsea. And at that age, I was a bit of a mummy's boy as well. So I was like going home, see my mum, see my nan. So I didn't exactly, oh my God, Richarlison's in behind here. And if he can square this, he can. And Tottenham have gone 1-0 up. Oh my giddy gosh. And it is Brennan Johnson at the back post again. It is Brennan Johnson at the back post again. And that is why. This is why we need to acknowledge it. Thomas Frank, genius. Thomas Frank, an actual genius. Daniel Levy, look, it's a goal out of nothing. Long ball from the back. A good flick on one. Richarlison undoubtedly onside. Really impressive goal this from Tottenham. Richarlison runs a channel. Pacey. Puts the perfect ball across, just out of reach for the sliding challenge from Ruben Diaz. And Brendan Johnson tucks it away. Oh, hang on a minute. How's that ruled out? It's gone to VAR. I can't believe. Hang on a minute. No one's offside. I've seen it in slow-mo. I'm looking at it in slow-mo now. The geezer's onside by a mile. This is going to be ruled out. The game needs this goal. I don't even want Tottenham to score, but the game needs this goal. It can't be offside. I'm looking at it now. They're in line with one another. Oh, look, these dopes in Stockley Park. Utter pillocks. That just can't be ruled out, man. It's because he slips. Is it actually ruled out? They're checking. I'm just not seeing how that can be ruled out. But it is looking like... It looks onside to me. I believe it's onside. I would have given that goal. See, I should be a linesman. I should work for the FA because I'd have given that goal straight away. Hang on, he's doing the telly. Goal. Tottenham are 1-0 up at the Etihad. Big moment. Big goal for Brennan Johnson. The Tottenham fans in that away end are going mad. Imagine if I went in that away end. I would get battered. They would kill me in there. Do you think I would actually like how bad would it get? You know, if like as a social experiment, you know, if I just decided to like go in the Tottenham away end, what are we talking? I reckon 2 weeks in hospital. Like, it would be terrible, wouldn't it? Big goal. Fantastic goal. And I'm going to say it again. The appointment of Thomas Frank is inspired. The appointment of Thomas Frank is the best thing that has happened to Tottenham Hotspur for absolutely ages. Thomas Frank is a genius. He is capable of finding a way to win in any circumstance. Look at the way that he set up against Paris Saint-Germain. And I know people were saying that Tottenham lost to Paris Saint-Germain. I know people were saying it was a Spursy collapse. But it isn't true. They played against that outrageously talented Luis Enrique team. And all four of those major attackers started. Doué, Kvaratskhelia, Bacola. They all played. They didn't have a shot on target. For 70 minutes. Thomas Frank, mate. Trust me. Top man. Another super chat has landed here, by the way. And it says... Oh, it's from Amin. What's happening, sir? How are you? Amin says... Football culture in Lebanon is huge, especially the Premier League, Madrid, and Barcelona, FCB, Barcelona. Aside from that, there's certain areas where you can see the vibrant artistic side that you're asking about. Mate, I'd love to go. I really would. I'll tell you, do you know who went and had a great time? I was talking to him about it a bit. You know Poet from Filthy Fellas? Poet from Filthy Fellas went, and he said that he had a great time. He said he had the nicest cup of coffee he's ever had in his life. I mean, that's worth a journey in itself. So no, mate, I mean, if I can ever make this happen, I'm there. Trust me, I am there. And I appreciate you coming in with the knowledge there. I really do. I would love to. I've just got to make it a work trip. How can I make it a work trip? Got to happen. There is also another chat here from the Genius Genie who says, Manchester City fan from India. Welcome, sir. No links with anyone in my family to any sport. Also, you should visit here for some cricket. I'd love that. Do you know who I'm a fan of? I'm a Rajasthan Royals loyal. I'm Rajasthan Royals till I die, sir. But no, I would love to do that. I'd love to go to India with England, you know, for the Barmy Army. Love that. That will happen one day. At the moment, it's very difficult for me to do any travelling without not so much my wife. I don't think she cares what I do. But I think my kid would go nuts. Imagine if I said to a 6-year-old, I'm going to India, I'm going to Lebanon. She'd be like, I'm coming, mate. And you can't say no to her because she's crazy. Then I've also missed a super chat. Forgive me. From the East Boo Saga, who says, Tottenham deaf games will be painful to watch after Ange. Do you know what, though? What I like about watching Tottenham, now don't get me wrong, this game hasn't been good. It hasn't burst into life until very recently. It took a long while to get going. But what I will always... Oh, my God. James Trafford has just guillotined... Oh, my God, that's kudos, isn't it? He's just guillotined him. Can't do that. What are you doing? What are you doing, sir? Okay, finally, the game's come to life. What you can say... look, the Ange Postecoglou thing, people say that was an interesting way of playing, but it wasn't. It's useless. Absolutely useless. What's good about this football, this Thomas Frank football is, it's clever, it's intuitive, it's didactic. You learn something from it. Like, Thomas Frank is the most proven manager that you could possibly appoint. And I don't know why teams don't do that enough. I don't know why that doesn't happen enough. Why is Iraola not in the West Ham job rather than Potter? Why is Marco Silva not in a massive job? A point from within the Premier League. It doesn't make any sense to me, man. It really doesn't make any sense to me. Right, what is going on here? Pep Guardiola looks stressed out. Why am I just looking at Pep Guardiola? Show me the pitch. Right, Brennan Johnson. I'm just seeing close-ups of footballers I don't need to see. I need knowledge. I need info. Right, I'm watching the goal again. Such a good goal. Such a good Thomas Frank goal. The slip does Ruben Diaz a mischief. Richarlison plays it across really well. But Brennan Johnson is basically on his own. And that Tottenham end has fallen. Fair play. Thomas Frank celebrates in his very double thumbs up way. Thomas Frank over the moon. Brennan Johnson elated. Big, big, big goal. And Tottenham have a thing about Man City, don't they? They have a thing about doing damage to City. And I can't say that I'm particularly upset about it. By the way, I must say, we have crossed the 1,000 concurrent viewers barrier. Thank you so much. If anyone new around here could drop a like on the stream, it really does help me out. And this is the promised land. This is what we were dreaming of. 1,000 concurrent viewers. We're new on this channel for doing the lives. We're building, and I really appreciate you all tuning in. If you have not subscribed, please consider it. The score is Tottenham Hotspur are winning away at Manchester City. They are winning away at the Etihad. Massive moment for Thomas Frank. Thomas Frank is getting everything right in his role, even when the ceiling is crumbling around him, even when he is being let down massively by his ownership and his board. Thomas Frank is doing the business. A massive moment and a brilliant performance this half from Tottenham. Hasn't been a classic game. Hasn't been a particularly enjoyable game, but from a Tottenham perspective, it is everything that they want it to be. Thomas Frank working magic after magic after magic. And that is what's happening. Carlo G putting a Trinidad and Tobago flag. Big weekend, mate. My good friend from where I grew up, who lived in a flat below me, his name's Rondell, one of my best mates. Big weekend, carnival weekend, mate. He's getting his floats ready. This is big weekend, no doubt. I'm all the way from the land of Dwight York and Kenwyn Jones. Yeah, mate, Trinidad and Tobago. England played there. Do you remember when England played there fairly recent, like 10, 15 years ago? I think Peter Crouch might have scored for England. Right, Tottenham are in behind again. If Tottenham can nick a goal here before half-time, City are really going to be up against it, but easily dispossessed. Easily dispossessed there by Shirky. Lovely control by Shirky, but he's been dispossessed now by Sarr. Why haven't they got rid of the ball? What are you doing? Mate, there's a time for the skills and the flicks and the tricks, but 1-0 down with a minute to go at half time in your own defensive third. What are you playing at? Yeah, not good. Really not good. But from a Tottenham perspective, this is magical. This is exactly everything that they would want it to be, isn't it? If you come to Lebanon, I'll show you around, says Amin Abs. Mate, if I can make that magic happen, I will be letting you know, sir. And I really, really do appreciate that. Gotta happen. I went to Qatar, man. I wanted to go to Qatar again. I haven't been there since the World Cup. It's an amazing place. Tottenham are bossing this now. Mate, since the goal, Tottenham have really Bentancur looking like an established Van de Ven on the run. Mate, this is really good play from Tottenham. You just can't speak highly enough of Thomas Frank, can you? Like, he is simply brilliant. Got to be one of the best managers in the league. Got to be. And look how easy this is for Tottenham. Look, Romero's just got his foot on the ball, calming it down. Keeping Romero was a big move, wasn't it? Really big move. Oh, Kudos is on the run. Oh my God, they're in behind again. If this is good delivery, 3-on-3 in the box, but it's bad delivery. Oh my God, he's won it back, Sarr. I can't believe City here. It's a Tottenham corner. A couple of seconds left of the half, and Tottenham have a corner. And we know that Thomas Frank loves set pieces. We know that Tottenham can be very, very threatening from set pieces. We know that Manchester City are looking vulnerable at the back. James Trafford has not had a good game. He has not looked comfortable in that City net. And he now has to defend a corner. And in come the cavalry. Here comes Van de Ven. Here comes Romero. Richarlison in there to make a nuisance of himself. Bentancur, Perlinia. Mate, they're a good team, this Tottenham team. Imagine if they got Eze as well. Thank God they didn't. Ball is about to be whipped in. James Trafford not looking confident. It's high loopy delivery. The referee has blown a whistle. I think there's going to be a retake. Yeah, Christian Romero, unsurprisingly, has done something wrong. I'm unsure what exactly, but Christian Romero has done Christian Romero has done something wrong. James Trafford, again, not looking great. Reinders is trying to separate. Reinders is being very clever. He's putting himself between Romero and the keeper. Right, here comes a delivery from Mohamed Kudus. Whipped in again. Same sort of delivery to the far post. Richarlison's good header away. It's goal kick, actually. I thought Reinders was under it, but it actually fell to Richarlison, who probably should have done more. It was Marmoush, actually, who was under it. But that should be half-time. And not a good half of football. Not an enjoyable half of football to watch. But what I must say is a sensational result here for Tottenham so far. Tottenham have done everything right. Tottenham have done everything that they want to do. It's really, really impressive what they have built. It's really impressive what they... Oh my God! It's 2-0. Oh my God, it's 2-0. Palhinha has just scored. I just can't believe it. What is going on? James Trafford, what have you done? The score is Manchester City 0, Tottenham 2. Tottenham are 2-0 up, and Manchester City have been pitiful this half. They have looked so shaky at the back. They have looked so dodgy at the back. Ake, who came on, has not had a good half. John Stones, crucial slip. Ruben Diaz out of his depth. James Trafford. This could be a disaster. They're taking the goal kick. They get clever into James Trafford's feet, which is such a daft thing to do. They dispossess. It's Richarlison. It's a scramble, and it's driven home by Palhinha. And do you know who deserves to take a lot? Do you know who needs to get a lot of the stick for this? The decision from Ruben Diaz to lay it into James Trafford's feet. That isn't the first time this half that we've seen James Trafford not comfortable with the ball at his feet. Why do we do this? Why do we force players who are clearly not comfortable with the ball at their feet to play out from the back? Chelsea would do it with Edouard Mendy. Edouard Mendy did not want the ball at his feet. He was never comfortable with the ball at his feet. The last thing he ever wanted was the ball at his feet looking to spray the play. Everyone thinks that they have to be Alisson. James Trafford has made a pig's ear of other moments this half that have not resulted in conceding a goal. And Man City have not learnt from those moments. And Ruben Diaz lays the ball into Trafford's feet. Trafford tries to be clever and plays it back into the feet of John Stones, who gets dispossessed. It's like so dumb. So dumb. And James Trafford is going to get the headlines here. James Trafford is going to be the villain. James Trafford is going to be the persona non grata. But James Trafford is the innocent party on some level. Don't ask people to do things that they can't do. James Trafford don't want the ball at his feet. It's daft. It's stupid. It's dumb. It's unforgivable. James Trafford is filling huge shoes of Ederson. He is feeling massively out of his depth. He has gone from playing the Championship at Burnley to suddenly playing for Pep Guardiola against Tottenham in the Premier League. All eyes on him, like Tupac. And suddenly, he's panicking. Suddenly, he's struggling. It's hardly surprising that he's struggling when he's in the deep end like this. He isn't a man that's cut out for this kind of thing. And all those rumours, those Gregory Isaac rumours that we heard, oh, Man City are in the box now. The game's come to life. It's been one of the worst 30 minutes of football I've seen, and then one of the best 15. It's been brilliant for the last 10 minutes. I'll tell you what, Pedro Porro's got some running in his tank. That's a foul. Well played, Richarlison. Oh, he's given it the other way. The refs give it to City. The refs give it to City. Mental. I thought Richarlison was fouled there. But the game has finally come to life. And Manchester City are looking all over the place. They're looking all over the place. All very well having these like mercurial footballers, Shirky, Marmoush. Don't get me wrong, they're brilliant. But they're not doing the simple things well. Like Marmoush, constantly telling the crowd to get up for it, constantly asking for more from the crowd. It's like, mate, when Erling Haaland put you in and all you had to do was dink it over Vicario, you smashed it against him. Don't tell the crowd to do one thing when you need to focus on your job. City corner. Tottenham Hotspur, do you know what? It's a heartbreaker. I don't like Tottenham. I don't want Tottenham to do well. But do you know what is so upsetting? And I think we all have to admit it now. They finally got the right appointment, didn't they? You know, over the years, we knew that they got it wrong. They got it wrong with Mourinho. They got it wrong with Conte. They got it wrong like time and time again. Back in the day, they got it wrong with Jacques Santini. They got it wrong basically with everyone since Harry Redknapp. You know, they got it wrong with basically every manager that you can think of since Harry Redknapp. And they finally got it right. Thomas Frank, an astute appointment. Man City on the attack here in the box. If they get one back here, it's going to be a pulse. No intuition. He's played it to the geezer at his feet who's running. Needs to play it into the space. Clipped into the far post. That is bread and butter all day for Van der Ven. Van der Ven wins the 50-50. Every single 50-50, Tottenham are winning it. And I'm going to bring it back to Thomas Frank, man. I'm going to bring it back to Thomas Frank. I don't like talking like this about Tottenham. I don't like talking like this about the Tottenham manager. I don't like being as glowing like this about anything to do with Tottenham Hotspur. But Thomas Frank is the absolute boy, you know that. Thomas Frank is a geezer. Absolute boy. Oh my God, I thought Tottenham were going to be in again. Well played, Ake. Well played, Ake. You've got to switch the play. It's so lopsided. There's loads of room over this side. Get it over here, Shirky. Reinders, one to beat. Clips it into the box. Easily dealt with. Like Van der Ven and Romero are doing this all day long and twice on a Sunday. Like, this isn't difficult for them. Lovely feet there. Is that Oscar Bob? Lovely, lovely, beautiful feet. Corner kick, City. The game has come alive. Finally. We have something to talk about. Oscar Bob there. Lovely feet, man. Taken short, Shirky, Bob. Back to Shirks. Clipped into the box. Haaland. Ooh la la. Haaland. Free header 4 yards out. Over the bar. 4 header 3 yards out over the bar. Like that. That needs to go in the back of the net. Oh, Haaland. Oh, Erling. Oh, dear. I mean, it's literally a free header. It's such a good chance. If you aren't watching this game, this is bread and butter. Alan Shearer, back of the net. Les Ferdinand, back of the net. Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, back of the net. Frank Lampard, back of the net. Luis Suarez, back of the net. Fernando Torres, back of the net. Worst strikers. Dion Dublin, back of the net. James Beattie, back of the net. Morten Gamps Pedersen, back of the net. Erling Haaland over the bar. Oh my gosh. 2-0 down at home. 2-0 down at home to Tottenham Hotspur. Now, what we need to do is we need to genuinely acknowledge what Thomas Frank has done here. What Thomas Frank has done is truly, truly magnificent. Like, it really is. It really is. The revolutionary impact of Thomas Frank at this club. Like, think about the club that he inherited. Okay, there was euphoria. There was happiness. There was silverware. But they were crap. They were crap. They were dreadful. They were so bad. So bad. They could have got relegated. They were dreadful. No defensive solidity, no defensive unit, no defensive harmony, no defensive spirit, nothing. Okay, the cracks were papered over in the most glorious of ways. Don't get me wrong. The cracks were papered over in the most glorious of ways. And what they did in Spain, beating the great Manchester United, is historic. And Ange Postecoglou deserves a lot of credit for that. But let us not pretend that Tottenham were good. Thomas Frank lands. He lands. And my God, he has changed the direction of travel. He has elevated the belief at that club. He has changed everything about what is going on at Tottenham Hotspur. And that is why Thomas Frank is the absolute boy. That is why Thomas Frank is the absolute man. That is why Thomas Frank deserves nothing but respect. The way that he has elevated this spirit at Tottenham, the way that he has elevated this entire club, even when the ceiling is crumbling in, even when he's being let down left, right and centre, even when it is going so wrong for him at boardroom level, this is his impact on the team. Finally, Tottenham got it right. And I hate to admit it, but Tottenham have finally got it right. Like, the appointment of Thomas Frank is the most impressive appointment that Tottenham have made in the recent era. Like, of all of the managers that I can think of where Tottenham have finally got it right, you know, when you think about where they got it wrong, Antonio Conte was a terrible Tottenham appointment. Like, what were they thinking? Like, Andre Villas-Boas was a terrible Tottenham appointment. Like, what were they thinking? Tim Sherwood was a joke appointment. Like, what were they thinking? Jose Mourinho, brilliant manager, but a terrible appointment. What were they thinking? And Postecoglou even. I know it ended well, but it was a terrible appointment. What were they thinking? And suddenly, it really does feel like they've got it right. It suddenly feels like the manager that they have appointed now is the manager that they have been longing for such a long time. You know, gone are the days of David Pleat and Tim Sherwood. Gone are the days of those like one-day Ramos type managers that go in and can't really get it going. Gone are the days of Christian Gross. Tottenham have appointed a serious manager, and generally speaking, when you appoint a serious manager, you become a serious football club, and that is what Tottenham are on the precipice of doing. Thomas Frank has gone in there and changed everything. Think about the Tottenham performances that you've seen. Think about their performance last week. Think about the quality of goals. Think about the impact on the personnel. Think about what Richarlison did last week. Look at the elevation right now. Cast your minds back to the Super Cup. Okay, they got beat. But think about that performance against Paris Saint-Germain. Think about the way that Thomas Frank outsmarted Luis Enrique. Think about the way that Thomas Frank's team who last year conceded goals for fun, they kept Doué at bay. They kept Kvaratskhelia at bay. They kept Barcola at bay. They didn't have a shot on target for 70 minutes. Okay, they capitulated at the end, but they didn't have a shot on target for 70 minutes. That is brilliant managerial intuition. And now you look at what he's done. So he's done it against Luis Enrique, done it last week at home to Burnley, and now he's done it against Pep Guardiola away from home. Let's see if Thomas Frank can change the ideology of the club, because the club that we know, the Tottenham that we know, we are aware that Tottenham can capitulate. Let us see now if somehow Thomas Frank can redefine the club, can change the ideology of the club. Tottenham lose this game 3-2. I'm wrong about Frank. Deal? I'll tell you what, that's why I love doing these lives, and that's why I want to say thank you to all of you for tuning in. What I love about these lives is that we can have a back and forth. We can have an agreement, we can have a disagreement, we can have a debate, and we can shake hands at the end. And if you beat me, you beat me, and if I beat you, I beat you, right? I'm not going to win them all. You're cleverer than me. There's no doubt about that. But I believe that Frank is the man. I could be wrong. If this game finishes 4-2 to Man City, I'm wrong. He's changed nothing. And Postecoglou could lose 4-2 up there. Tim Sherwood could lose 4-2 up there. I believe, though, that the fabric of the club has changed, and Thomas Frank has elevated the club beyond recognition. The definition of Spursy no longer applies to Tottenham. Let's see if I'm right. If Tottenham win this game away from home now, like Man City, one of the best teams in the country, the best manager in the country, some of the most dazzling attacking talent in the world, they are totally capable in 45 minutes of turning this around. They could easily turn this game around without too much effort. We've seen it time and time again over the history of the game, haven't we? Teams like Newcastle go 2-0 up at Old Trafford and Jose Mourinho puts some magic on and the game finishes 3-2 to Man United. Tottenham go 2-0 up at Stamford Bridge and Jose Mourinho puts some magic on Chelsea, and Chelsea end up getting a 3-3 draw in the FA Cup and knocking them out away from home. That's what happens. This, however, is a defining moment for Tottenham Hotspur. Do you agree with me, by the way? Do you agree? If Tottenham come out of this unscathed, it will demonstrate the brilliance of Thomas Frank, and it will totally validate the decision of sacking Postecoglou and bringing in Frank. Frank is a serious man. He is a serious manager. And you look at how his team sat up today, you look at the way that his team smelt a weakness in that James Trafford, that persistence, foolishly, to give the ball to Trafford's feet when he doesn't want the ball at his feet. And the fact that James Trafford has started this season as Manchester City's first choice keeper with Ederson on the bench, Pep Guardiola's made a pig's ear of that. I'm sorry, but Pep Guardiola has made a pig's ear of that. Like, it's hard to criticise Pep Guardiola, isn't it? Because he's a genius, because he's the best in the league, because he's the best in the world, because he is a genius who won a treble, because he won 4 titles in a row. It's very difficult for me, a geezer who loves football and does YouTube, to say, error Guardiola. But I think that we can. I think we can acknowledge his credentials and acknowledge how brilliant he is, whilst also acknowledging that he has made a terrible decision here. Ederson on the bench, watching James Trafford do that. Like, if you're going to pick Trafford, you have to play to Trafford's strengths. Go long, let him save shots. But he isn't a footballer in the true definition of the word, in the way that Ederson is a footballer in the true definition of the word. So stop asking him to play in the same system. Stop asking him to do the job that you would ask a totally different player to do. Amend your approach in order to accommodate the players on the pitch. And let me know what you think about these points I'm raising here. This could be a brilliant second half. And I love going live. I love these. So please, if you're new around here, consider clicking subscribe. I'm going to be going live twice tomorrow. We're going to be going live for the early game because I cannot wait for it. Forest versus Palace. That is going to be, mate, intense rivalry, venom, and I cannot wait for it, and I want to go live for it, and I want to watch it with you. So please do subscribe, put the bell on and you won't miss it. And then obviously we're going to be going live for Fulham Man United, and I've got a special guest for that one, so you don't want to miss it. I'm going to go back into the super chat now that says, the Liverpool 6 times says Tottenham have found their Klopp. I think it is a brilliant appointment. I think they finally got it right. All of the terrible managers that they have had over the years, they have finally got it right. And Daniel Levy, all of the criticism that he gets, and I back Tottenham fans on a vast majority of the criticism that he gets, he has got this right, though. The Thomas Frank appointment was an astute, clever one. The crispy lad has said, people were saying Shirky is better than Wirtz. Yeah, I mean, people may have been. I wasn't. The LFC Rants in the Super Chat says, the midfield of Shirky, Reinders and Nico Gonzalez has been abysmal. I think they need to rely on the old horses like Silva, Foden, Rodri. I think you, again, are correct. I think there needs to be a blend, doesn't there? Like, Tijani Reinders looks like a player. Looks beautiful. And you think about the way that he landed at Man City, there was no real fanfare. You know, when you think about the noise about Wirtz signing for Liverpool, the noise about Isak currently not signing for Liverpool yet, the noise around various signings this summer. You think about the Gyökeres signing, the Vsesko signing. It was saga after saga after saga. Reinders, 45 million quid, AC Milan, bang in the team. Geezer, what a player. But I think Reinders needs to play with a Foden, maybe. He certainly needs to play with a Bernardo Silva, maybe. Like, it's a baptism of fire. And they're playing against a really good Tottenham team who are so switched on. Like, think about this. One of the most important parts of football, do you agree with me? It's like the conduct, the players, the esteem, the understanding, the nous of the Premier League. How do you win Premier League games? Not always the most glamorous footballers win the Premier League games. Like, how do you win Premier League games? Do you know who knows how to win football matches? Christian Romero. Do you know who do anything to win football matches? Christian Romero. Do you know who else will do anything to win football matches? João Palhinha. Do you know who else will do anything to win football matches? Bentancur. Do you know who else will do anything to win football matches? Sarr. Porro. Established Premier League proven players. Suddenly you've got a midfield of Bob, Shirky, Reinders, Marmoush, Gonzalez. Yeah, wicked footballers, no doubt. But they're up against the players they're up against the nous, the know-how. Like, João Palhinha will do anything to win a football match. Richarlison will do anything to win a football match. And I think that maybe there's an element of naivety here from Pep Guardiola around this. By the way, there's a super chat here from Ranganath. Thank you so much, man. Ranganath says, will you come to Dubai and do a Chelsea game watch along on a podcast with UAE Chelsea Super Club? We have around 80 to 100 people watching the game every week at a pub. I'm one of the 4 who runs the fan club. Mate, it would be my honour. It would be my honour. I would love to go to Dubai. Do you know where I keep nearly going? I've got a friend who's in Yas Island. Where's that? It's not in Dubai. It's near Dubai. And I could be going, mate. I'd love to go. Message me. It would be my honour. Although don't be mate, I'm keen. Where are you? Ranganath, it would be my honour. Get in touch with me. Not on social media. I'm off social media. I hate it. But get in touch with me on here. Or, I mean, you could potentially try social media. I've got somebody looking at it for me. But no, mate, absolutely. I would truly love that. So please, let's make that happen. With regard to this game, though, we are going to find out exactly who Tottenham are, and we are going to find out exactly who Man City are. Like, City should have probably had one back towards the end there. You know, they had that short corner, they had that like beautiful ball into the box, like sublime pass into the box. Haaland heads it over from 4 yards out, like pathetic from him. And if that had gone in, you'd probably be saying City win the game. But it didn't. And because of James Trafford's foolishness, because of Ruben Diaz's cowardice, and I call it cowardice, don't give the ball to... Take some responsibility, Ruben Diaz. You're the 4-time winner. You're the European Cup winner. Ruben Diaz needs to take some responsibility and not simply give the ball to a keeper making his debut in the Premier League at City. Like, take some responsibility. Trafford don't want it at his feet. I know it's Trafford's mistake, but surely the responsibility of the defender is to, like, insulate him from that criticism, insulate him from that mistake. So it does feel quite poor for me. Can I ask you a massive favour? As we embark upon this second half, could you drop a like on this stream? The promised land, the land of milk and honey, is 500 likes. Is there a world where we could get to 500 likes? Please consider doing that. I would be really grateful if you would consider liking the stream. And like I say, if you're enjoying it, even if you've enjoyed 10 seconds of this, please consider clicking the subscriber button. I would love to welcome you into this community. Come on, subscribe to the channel. Really does help me out if you would be that kind. Thank you so much. We have a big half of football and I cannot wait for it. And do you know what? We are going to find out exactly who Tottenham are and exactly who Man City are. Are Tottenham about this life? Are Tottenham a serious club? Or are they Tottenham years gone by? We are about to find out. Does Thomas Frank have what it takes to somehow win away at City? He went all the way against Paris Saint-Germain. Big win on his opening day of the season. Pressure in that game as well. He's had a terrible week. Not him specifically. but he's had a terrible week because his board have let him down. He is an excellent manager, and the board have let him down. Eberechi Eze in this team is a needle mover. Eberechi Eze in this team changes everything. Eberechi Eze in this team puts Tottenham in the Champions League conversation. But I do also believe that there is a world where, even without Eze, the brilliance of Thomas Frank could take Tottenham to the top. The top of what they can do. Not the top. They're not the top. But the top of their ceiling is qualifying for the Champions League. And I think Frank is totally capable of doing that. I think that he is totally capable of doing that. So yeah, I can't see a world where City come back from this. I really can't. I honestly believe that Frank is a genius and he will set his team up now so stringently, so fastidiously, so accurately to nullify anything that City can throw at it. But City are going to throw the kitchen sink at this now. City are going to throw the kitchen sink at this Tottenham back line. So let's see what Romero, Van der Ven, Spence, Porro, Vicario are made of. Let's see what Tottenham are about. Are Tottenham ready to redefine themselves? Who's with me, by the way? Does anyone still believe that there is any accuracy to the term Spursy? Like, I think the ideology of Spursyism is over. Like, the idea of Tottenham being Tottenham, it ended when they won that silverware in Manchester. If they now win this game, which, let's face it, they should. If they now win this game, you just can't call them Spursy anymore. The ideology, Spursyism, what does it mean? Capitulation. What does it mean? Snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. What does it mean? Like blowing leads and all that. They're 2-0 up away from home at Guardiola's first home game of the season. Come on. They're just not Spursy anymore. And it's painful. But Thomas Frank is the governor. You know that. Frank is the governor. And it's painful. But Tottenham have got it right. City are running out now. They got a spring in their steps. Stones, Akanji, Trafford. Tijani Reinders there looking fuming. Kolo Toure, yes sir. Go on mate, icon. Kolo Toure, yeah. Guardiola looking stressed out. Beautiful kettle on the geezer. See the kettle? Look at that kettle on Pep Guardiola. That is one of the most beautiful kettles that I have ever seen. Serious. Don't let me get serious. Right, we're underway here. We're not quite underway. Haaland standing over the ball. City about to kick off. Far too many empty seats in that corporate area of City. They're 2-0 down. We are underway. City in possession. Let's see how aggressively Tottenham go for it. Let's see the way that Tottenham set up. I think that they're going to be rigid. They're going to be sat back. They're going to be doing everything that they can to preserve their lead. And then they're going to look to catch Man City out on the break, which they are capable of doing. Players like Richarlison, Kudus, players like Brennan Johnson, they are capable. If you want to sync up with me, by the way, we are in the 45th minute and we are entering now the 30th second. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. I hope that you're synced up with me because we are going to enjoy this game together. This is going to be a good 45 minutes. You know that. I've got a good feeling about this. We are about to see some serious football. Let's find out who City are. Let's find out who Tottenham are. By the way, we've got a couple of super chats in, and this one is from the Scanlan Gamer, who says, thoughts on Garnacho at Chelsea. Has that happened? Mate, I've been praying that that's not actually going to happen. I've just been kidding myself. Tottenham are in behind it already. I've been kidding myself that is actually not going to happen. And I really hope it isn't. I do not want Garnacho. It's not about the player. It's not about the ability. I think he's a good footballer. But I just don't want somebody like Garnacho at Stamford Bridge. But I agree with you. It is almost definitely going to happen. But yeah, this, mate, I'm looking forward to this. Finally, I am looking forward to this. What is going on in the chat? Let me dive in and see what is going on. Why are people talking about Soho House? I'm not a member of Soho House. I'm a Groucho loyal. Rory's favourite social establishment is Soho. I'm not even a member of Soho. I was in there. I was in the White City one last week, but I'm not a member. I don't like it. I genuinely don't like it. I think Shoreditch House is the worst place in the world. Like, honestly, I think it's full of the worst people in the world. And I most certainly was not there. Why am I being slandered? I was in the White City one, by QPR's ground. Queen's Park Rangers. I was the one right by their ground. Oh, City are in behind, and it's cut back, and this has to end up in a goal, surely. He's had a touch in the area. What a block. Resilient, fighting for the badge on his chest there. That's the point of Palhinha. That is why Palhinha is such a good signing. That is why you sign players like Palhinha. And this link that Tottenham and Bayern Munich have, this link that Tottenham have to Bayern, it is doing them so many favours. They're like best mates, Tottenham and Bayern, aren't they? Best mates. Look at all of the business that they've done. Think about it. Eric Dyer, Matthias Tell, Harry Kane, João Palhinha. I'm telling you, Kane's going back to Tottenham. The clubs are such good mates. The clubs are going... Oh, well played, Richarlison. Right, Tottenham are... Right, I need score predictions from now. I'm telling you my score prediction from now. Do you know what this game finishes? I'm serious. This game finishes Tottenham 3, Man City 0. What do you believe the score finishes? Let me know now. Tottenham 3, Man City 0. I'm going to put it in. I'm putting it in the super chat. Rory says... Hang on, I'm just writing my own name. I don't need to do that. It'll come up my name, won't it? Final score, Man City 0, Tottenham 3, Spurs, Tottenham. I'm not calling them Spurs full time. There you go. There you go. That's it. That is it. The score finishes 3-0 to Tottenham. They won't mess it up from here. And do you know why? They won't mess it up from here because Thomas Frank won't allow them to. Oh, Oscar Bob. Oscar Bob, Richarlison, nearly on the break. This is what I'm talking about. What you talking about? Richarlison, oi. Richarlison up and on your bike. Go, go, go. Quick throw in. John Stones, brilliant tackle there. This is a humbler for Man City, man. Losing at home to Tottenham. You can't be doing that. You can't be doing that. That Tottenham end is looking lively now. The City end is looking flat. Imagine if I went in that Tottenham end. I said this before, but imagine it, genuinely. I think I would be dead. Right, here we go. Excellent play here from Man City, knocking the ball around well. They won their 50-50s, which is what they needed to do. Bit of quick vision there, nice. Okay, City are in possession. This game could really light up now. City should be asking every single question. Attack, attack, attack. Surely they bring Foden on soon as well. Surely, if there's ever a game where you need Phil Foden, surely it's when you're losing 2-0 at home to Tottenham. And again, City, they're not getting anywhere. And that is because Thomas Frank isn't allowing it. They're having all the possession, City, but they are just hanging about. They are just hanging about in their own D. James Trafford gets the ball and he goes really long and he blazes it all the way through to Vicario. They have over-promoted James Trafford, man. It's not about him as a goalie. It's about him as a footballer. If you want a footballer, play Ederson. If you want your goalkeeper to start your attacks, play Ederson. Really, really poor. This is just not good enough. Not good enough from City. Not good enough from Trafford. Not good enough individually. Not good enough from Guardiola. What are the predictions saying? 4-0 Tottenham, 3-1 Tottenham, 4-2 Tottenham. Most are saying Tottenham win. Oh, I've seen a couple 3-2 City. Couple 3-2 City. Nah. City don't come back. City 100% do not come back. City aren't about to fight. City don't have it. City don't have the power and the prowess to come back. They don't have the determination to come back. Guardiola is reinventing this team. They aren't ready. This is Guardiola's 4.0. They aren't ready to come back from 2-0 down. Like, the way you come back from 2-0 down is when you have the likes of Aguero, the likes of David Silva, the likes of Kevin De Bruyne. This team, they're all so new. And they're up against, like, the Nous. They're up against Palhinha. They're up against Bentancur. They're up against Sarr. They're up against Richarlison. They're up against Pedro Porro. They're up against Van der Ven. They're not going to allow it. Those bods that I've just said there are warriors, and they're not going to allow it. Ball into the box. Haaland heads it sort of the wrong way. Maybe he's looking for someone to come onto it. Oh, Erling, sir. Oh, Erling. Oh, dear, oh, dear, oh, dear. Just not going their way, is it? It really is just not going their way. Can I ask you a favour, by the way? If anyone is watching and hasn't like it, I'm going to dream now. In the next 45 minutes, can we get to 1,000 likes? That is a ridiculous dream. But you've got to dream big. You know Gabrielle? She said that dreams come true. Take a step closer. You know that I want you Jeremy Doku on the bench. Phil Foden on the bench. Pep Guardiola is calling Jeremy Doku across. Okay, here we go. We're about to see something going down. Now, Tottenham have played themselves into trouble, the dopes. Oh, my God. And the ball has not ended a foul given. Foul given. Tottenham have nearly made the exact same mistake that Man City made with regard to James Trafford. Like, you just can't make those mistakes. What are they doing? At the ball into Vicario's feet, slight mistouch. He's under major pressure into Van der Ven's feet, who loses it to Haaland, who tries to give an open goal, but he doesn't play the right ball across to Shirky. And there is a barge from Shirky on Palhinha. Palhinha goes down, and the referee correctly gives a free kick. I'm telling you, Tottenham win this game 3-0. There is no doubt about it. Oh, it's so easy for Tottenham. Look, they're 3 men in the box here. The flick on, and if Richarlison had gambled as a centre forward, you've got to gamble. You've got to make that run across the near post, whether you're going to get the ball or not. 9 times out of 10, you will not get the ball. But the one time that you gamble across the near post, you will score a goal. Thogden in goal here for Man City. He's looking very out of his depth. Richarlison. Nothing really happened. I don't know what Ruben Diaz is getting involved with. Ruben Diaz starting trouble with Richarlison for no reason. Oh, God, I've just seen that there could have been a penalty there. Van der Ven has absolutely taken out Oscar Bob. Mate. Okay, here we go. Here come the cavalry. Marmoush off. Cherky off. Bernardo Silva on. Jeremy Doku on. Jeremy Doku on. And I'm telling you what. This is the moment. Because we know that Bernardo Silva is a king. There is a Premier League great. There's a player that I rate, and I think I rate Bernardo Silva sort of higher than anyone else in the world ever has. Do you know what I mean? Does anybody rate Bernardo Silva as high? Like, I rate Bernardo Silva as a Premier League great, a true Premier League icon. I don't think people see him or give him the credit that he deserves. I really don't. Like, Bernardo Silva is about as good as it gets as a midfielder, as a complete midfielder. Flawless. Like, what's he not good at? Right. Okay. Oscar Bob on the ball. He slightly overruns it. Okay. Tottenham are potentially going to break here. And off goes Kudus. He's got one to beat, and we know that he can do it. And Nathan Ake has given away. He's kept it in. He's done well. But Van der Ven picks up the loose ball. Van der Ven still on the ball, and Tottenham have done well. Bernardo Silva pressing, Haaland pressing, but the ball is now back with Vicario's feet, and he has a couple of seconds. No pressure really. Haaland on his way. Plays a nice ball into the feet of Palhinha. Into the feet of Bentancur, forgive me. Jed Spence on the ball. It's too easy. It's too easy. Thomas Frank, man. Genius. I'm telling you. Genius. Oh, that's a terrible pass. They got away with it. Have they? It's not good here. It's not good. Okay, the ball. Tottenham are on the break. Play it out. Just play it out here to Kudus' feet. Kudus one to beat. Kudus versus Ake. Go on. Out, round the outside. You've got to go round the outside, round the outside, round the outside. Cross in. Free header. Richarl. Mate, Richarlison's having a good game, you know. He calls in a lot of problems. There's been a bit of a head clash there. But I think everyone's all right. Excellent cross in there from Pedro Porro. Richarlison goes up. Just needs to get there slightly ahead. In the end, there's just enough. There's just enough. I think it's Nico Gonzalez. Can't quite see who it is. Who's the clash with? But there was a slight clash of heads, but nothing too significant. Mate, he made the changes early, didn't he, Guardiola? You think he made those changes 8 minutes into the second half? Seen enough. Doku and Silva on, Marmoush, Shirky off. 8 minutes into the second half. Like, disappointing game from Shirky. Didn't really do anything, did he? I don't mean that in a kind of disrespectful way, but he just didn't really do anything. The Chronic Ty, the second, is in the super chat, by the way, and has said, this impacts the league. Tottenham's certain to lose at Anfield and the Emirates. City need to come back or get points in the same grounds I mentioned. I think you're right. The only thing that I would disagree with is, you know what you say they're certain to lose, this Tottenham team? You're basing that on everything that you've known about Tottenham up until this point. My point is, and I could be wrong, and this is the debate I love having with you all, but my point is this. What you are basing Tottenham definitely losing at the Emirates on, what you're basing Tottenham definitely losing at Anfield on, is the Tottenham of the past. What I am saying is that the Tottenham that won silverware in Spain and has appointed Thomas Frank are now not the team that you were defining them as. They are not definitely likely to lose that game. They are capable of beating anyone. And you look at the way that they're pinging the ball about here at the Etihad. Pep Guardiola's team can't get the ball. They're chasing shadows, mate. Absolute shadows. So easy. Bentancur into Van der Ven into... Look, mate, City haven't been on the ball for hours. Hours. Bentancur dictating out to Porro. Porro into the feet of Kudus. Kudus into the feet. Dummies. Oh, mate, they're mocking. Well won, but Paulini has won it back. Richarlison's won it back. City got the ball. That's a brilliant first touch into his path. Oh! Tottenham nearly went 3-0 up there. Tottenham nearly went 3-0 up. Lovely feet there. Beautiful feet, Kudus. The way he uses body. I think Kudus, beautiful footballer, you know. Just excellent. Oh, it's a reverse pass into Bentancur, into Kudus again. Oh, mate, he's nutmegged him. He's looking for the foul there, Kudus. Does he give it? Oh, his teammates kept it in for no reason. Who's that? I think Rico Lewis, for absolutely no reason, has kept the ball in. He must have thought it was going to be a corner, but it wasn't. It was going to be a goal kick. And he's given the ball away. Richarlison's pass there into, I think it's Brennan Johnson. Is it Brennan Johnson? Yeah. Richarlison's pass, I think, into Brennan Johnson. Johnson's touch was just that tiny bit too heavy. But it's annoying. I don't want Tottenham to do well, and I certainly don't want Tottenham to win this game. But I tell you what, they have been masterful here. Masterful performance. Where do you boys and girls potentially, although I've seen my demographic and it's basically like one girl, but maybe she's here. Where do you rate Thomas Frank if you're listing managers? How high do you rate Thomas Frank? Is Thomas Frank a better manager than Mikel Arteta? Is Thomas Frank a better manager than Mikel Arteta? Free kick here in a very dangerous position. We know that Tottenham are excellent at free kicks. We know that James Trafford is vulnerable. This could be the clincher. Remember I told you 3-0. Remember, I'm a very wise man. Wise men say only fools rush in. Who sing that? What football team? What fans sing that? Come on, somebody who's got the football knowledge, who's got the fan culture football knowledge. Who sing? Richarlison's header. Doesn't loop in, it loops over the bar. I can't help falling in love with you. Who sing it? Somebody. Somebody must know it. Thomas Frank is winning the vote massively, by the way. Thomas Frank is winning the vote hands down. 72% believe that Thomas Frank is a better manager than Mikel Arteta. 72% believe that Thomas Frank is a better manager. There we go. Fair play to Alex Thirlwell, Sunderland. You are absolutely correct. All I say, it's one of the best football anthems, don't you think? Would it be a sin, but I can't help falling in love with you. The Whittlesea Zebras, do they actually? I only know them because of Frank, Postecoglou. Right, Kudus launches it into the... No, he doesn't. He tricked me. He dummied me. It's a great dummy from Kudus. He looked like he was going to launch it into the box. He launches it into the box now. Thought he was going to... Richarlison wins every single header. Richarlison, mate. Richarlison is a man possessed. Richarlison has been absolutely brilliant today. Thankless task, playing up front against this brilliant Man City defence on his own. And he has done everything right, Richarlison. I'm not joking. Richarlison is the absolute boy. I'm going to text Frank. Frank? I'm going to text Flav. I'll text Flav. Richarlison is the boy. What a performance, man. He's absolutely just getting it completely and utterly right. By the way, the super chat, forgive me, nutritional chicken says, do you think that City have done enough to replace De Bruyne in the middle? Or will he sign Rodrigo and revert to high-scoring ringers like in his early Premier League days? I mean, I think he'll be slightly shocked with what's happened today. I this time last week, I thought that Reinders was a great replacement for De Bruyne. It looked like they were kind of easing away from De Bruyne and into the Reinders era. But I'm less sure now. I am less sure. Basically, De Bruyne is impossible to replace, isn't he? So how you can even consider replacing him, I don't know. But it is the responsibility of Thomas Frank to find a system, find a way, and work out how to do it. Look, I don't know if it's what they need. You know, I'm not saying that Rodrigo's not a sensational footballer. Of course, I'm not. But that isn't where they look like they need replenishments to me. Like, I think there are some do you know what they're missing? It's obviously Rodri, right? But you know, when you look at this, the reason Tottenham are winning, it's because of the nous and the know-how and the intelligence and the Premier League wherewithal. João Palhinha, winner. Bentancur knows how to win games. Sarr knows how to win games. Richarlison, horrible to play against. Romero, one of the best horrible footballers to play against. In fact, who is the best horrible footballer? It might actually be Romero and Richarlison, and they're both in the same team. It's hardly surprising that they are the best horrible footballers, and they're winning this game. And like I say, man, Frank is up there. Right up there. FaceTime Boovy, shall I? He won't answer. You know what he's like? He's a cowardly man. He won't answer. I could FaceTime Flav. Flav would answer. He'd be happy. Right, we are now deep into the second half. Like, there really does need to be some major, rapid progress from Man City. They've asked no questions. Tottenham have found it all so easy so far. And, you know, there's 25 minutes to go. 25 minutes to go. If City are going to win this game, they need something soon. They really do need something soon. Look, it's just so easy. They are finding it so easy. A super chat has landed here from the Greywin, who says Romero hasn't been sent off in over 2 years as well. Romero's an excellent player. One of the best things that happened to Tottenham this summer was getting Romero to sign another contract. Like, that was excellent for them. Like, in terms of, you know, when people were talking, what do they need? Who they need to sign? Bringing in Kudus was great this summer. You know, bringing in Frank was great this summer. It's all true. Bringing in Palhinha, astute, great move this summer. But the best thing they did, one of the best things they did this summer was bringing in and keeping Christian Romero. Making Romero sign a new contract is brilliant for what they're trying to build. And you would say that without Romero, they're probably not going to get him. And you're right, he hasn't been sent off for 2 years. He's a master of the dark arts. He's a winning footballer. And you need winning footballers. The nutritional chicken says, Chelsea gets Simmons and a centre-back and we win the league. I think, mate, I could be wrong, right? But my take on this is, without a keeper, we don't. If we don't sign a goalkeeper, we sadly just can't. We just aren't capable of doing it without a goalkeeper. We get a keeper, then I guess maybe. If we get a goalkeeper, then I think that we are capable of winning the league. Without a goalkeeper, I think it's going to be very, very difficult. Not impossible, but very difficult indeed. There's a great shout in the chat there. Man City need Wharton. Yeah, I think you're right. I think Man City do need Wharton. We'll have to see. We'll have to see if Guardiola is going to do something. There's still some time in the there's still some time in the transfer window to see if they go for it, to see if this kind of performance, this kind of result sparks Pep Guardiola into some action in the transfer market. But this team, it doesn't look good enough. It doesn't look good enough to win this kind of fixture. When there's like desperation from the opposition, nous, know-how, aggression. They look a bit lightweight. Yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting. When you think about the players that, like, is there a world? So they've brought on, like, Jeremy Doku. I'm not even joking. Do you feel like Jack Grealish would be a better player for them to bring on in this situation? I think Christian Romero's just been booked. Of course he has, but Christian Romero's just been booked. I mean, he got the ball. I've got no idea why Christian Romero got booked there. I don't see that as a foul or anything. Yeah, that's a ridiculous. If Tottenham concede from this, there will be an inquest after. Big chance here from City, though. City need to get something soon, and this is a good opportunity for them. They haven't played well. They haven't put any passages of play together. They're not asking questions, playing the expansive game. Maybe they need to just launch it into the box and hope for the best. They did that. It was wild, but it hasn't resulted in anything. Oh, I mean, that could have gone anywhere. I feel like a City player needed to get his head on that. Do you rate Ruben Diaz? I rated him, but I don't think he's played very well recently. I don't think he's played very well recently at all. Yeah, big 70 minutes gone here. 70 minutes gone. Right, City corner. Can they get something out of the game? If they get back into it now, it is going to be tough. Well played, Vicario gets a fist on it. Comes out. Dear God, just blazed over by an absolute mile by Rico Lewis. Why do players do that? It's so frustrating. Like, know your limitations. Start again. Play it out wide. You've got all your big men in the box. Take a touch. Play it out wide. Get the ball back in the box. Richarlison is about to have a fight here, by the way. Richarlison has fallen out massively with Bernardo Silva. Of course he has. And Richarlison is suggesting that he's going to see him in the tunnel, I think. What has happened here? Richarlison is where? Okay, I'm looking at Richarlison. I don't know what everybody's furious about. Oh, Richarlison has just had a pop at... No, there's nothing really. It's just a few pushes. Richarlison done nothing wrong. Bernardo Silva getting involved for no real reason. Ruben Diaz getting involved. It's just a handbag. It's nothing. Nah, nothing. Nothing happens. The referee has booked Ruben Diaz and booked Richarlison. Probably unnecessary, but it's certainly not the end of the world. We are... Where are we? Right, we have... This is getting desperate now. Absolutely desperate now for Tottenham. Like, I don't think that anybody could have a pop with Romero for going in so robustly on that Oscar Bob on the far side. Like, Bob's feet are unreal. You have to go in heavy when you try and challenge him. Like, I also felt like Romero got the ball, but I don't know. They're like, it's not an overly robust tackle. He goes in heavy. And, you know, that in-swinging delivery off the back of it, it could have resulted in a goal, and it would have been very unjust because I don't think it was even a foul. Rodri is warming up. Rodri is warming up. Right, this is getting big now. 19 minutes left, at the Etihad on the opening day of the season at home, first home game, sets a tone. You can't be getting beat at home. To win the league, the Etihad needs to be a fortress. To win the league, the Etihad needs to be this impenetrable stadium where they just do not concede goals, where they do not lose games, where they do not drop points. Because you know Anfield's going to be that, and you know that the Emirates is going to be that. You lose on the opening weekend at home. You lose on the opening weekend at home to Tottenham. I think Tottenham are a good team, but you just cannot lose to them and expect to win the league. Not in this fashion either. Outplayed, outthought. They just haven't turned up. Yeah, poor from City. And you don't want to do something majorly drastic, do you? You don't want to say something majorly drastic. But I just don't think you win the league. I didn't think they'd win the league anyway. But then off the back of last week, that's a great pass. Oh my God, the bounce just too high for Sarr. That was an absolutely exquisite pass, visionary pass. Richarlison is everywhere. Richarlison, one of the best players on the pitch. I can't believe what I'm saying. Richarlison, one of the best players on the pitch. When I talk about Thomas Frank and I'm like, Frank does this, Frank does that, Frank's incredible. Frank's the best thing that Frank has ever done. When you say about Kaiser Soze, the best thing he ever did was convince you that he didn't exist. The best thing that Thomas Frank has ever done, he has revolutionised Richarlison. I can't believe this performance from him. Geezer is everywhere. Oscar Bob, it's a foul. That pass there, I think, who plays that pass over the top? Looking for the run of Sarr through the middle. Who plays that? Such a good ball through. Is it Porro again? Porro, incredible player, man. Incredible vision, anyway. A super chat has just landed, by the way. It is from the Chris and Chips, and he says, who do you try and sign next if you're Daniel Levy? I think what they need is that magician, don't they? They need Eze, who's not Eze. The James Maddison injury, the fact that they didn't get Gibbs White, the fact that they didn't get Eze. I think what they need is a creativity. They need that creative spark because what they already have, Sarr, Palhinha and Bentancur is so solid. What they need is just, the spark to unlock it. Somebody with a little bit more about them. Somebody with the unpredictable, the mercurial, the vision, the magic. That is what they need to sign. What do you reckon, Chris and Chips, there in the super chat? If you were Daniel Levy, who do you think? I mean, what does the chat say? I am saying that they need to find somebody that is that visionary player. That is the only way that they can improve that midfield because they have it. They have it set up. And do you know what? They have enough creativity. They do have a lot of creativity. You saw it there. In that moment where Pedro Porro wrapped that beautifully crossed, beautifully shaped, beautifully angled pass. And it's basically just the bounce that took the ball away from Sarr. Trafford comes out and Trafford didn't get near it, but he just gets lucky that the ball bounces over Sarr's head. That would have been another catastrophic error for James Trafford, who, let's face it, is completely and utterly out of his depth. I think that Trafford has been sold a bit of a mischief by his teammates. I think that Trafford has been done a little bit of a mischief by good save. Rodrigo there, straight into it. Probably should have scored. Cross comes in, Rodri, free header. Yeah, it's a good header, under a bit of pressure from Van der Ven. But, we've seen Haaland miss an easier one than that. And obviously, Richarlison chasing the ball. James Trafford heads it out. But yeah, I don't know why they're asking James Trafford to play out from the back and be Ederson. He's clearly not capable of being Ederson. Dom Solanke coming on here by the looks of things. Tell as well, I think. Yeah. Two big double change to run the channels. Stop Manchester City camping in Tottenham's half. Give Manchester City, give Pep Guardiola something to worry about. Brennan Johnson going off, obviously scored a huge goal, got City off, got Tottenham off to a flyer. Big finish. And he could have taken his eye off it as the challenge came in, but he makes no mistake with the finish. Excellent goal there from Brennan Johnson. Really, really good finish. And Brennan Johnson is going off to a standing ovation from the Tottenham fans. Over the moon by what they have witnessed from him today. And every time I doubt Brennan Johnson, he scores. Do you know that? Do you find that? Like, I don't rate him particularly highly, but he seems to score every week. And Richarlison, listen, I don't like celebrating Tottenham players. I don't particularly like Richarlison. But, sir, I announce that Richarlison man of the match. Selfless forward play. Dom Solanke on. I mean, this is the moment where Dom Solanke has to, like, state his case to get back in the team. And that is how teams get better. That is how you become a top team. Dom Solanke now comes on and scores 2. Suddenly Richarlison needs to play better, score more goals. Then Richarlison puts in a performance like this today, and then they both push each other on. Phil Foden, lovely feet from Foden, fouled by Porro. A bit of a dive, actually. Oh my God, City are playing out from the back again, and they've lost it again. What are they doing? Oh, that's a foul, surely, on Bentancur. Foden releases Doku. Doku here, charging at his fullback. Porro's got to slow him down. He's in the box. And he done really well, Doku, and it's a great tackle. Basically, Tottenham, I think it's Van der Ven, wants it more. Fights for it more. Fights for his love more. And there is a long, hopeful ball here. And when James Trafford is out again, and he just launches the ball a mile in the sky. Not the most cultured, but far more effective than what we've seen him do earlier today as well. Van der Ven doing brilliantly. Absolutely brilliantly. Yeah, and Odebear on as well. Big moments here. Big. This next 10 minutes that we are going to witness of football here is actually season defining. If City come back from this and win 3-2, all of a sudden they are going to look like a team that has everything. Last week, they beat a team 4-0, spreading the ball around. Beautiful, beautiful football. This week, they fight and they don't play well and they get a victory. Suddenly you'll be looking at Man City as a team that can do everything. Find you a guy that can do both. If they lose this, however, and I think they will lose it, and I told you the final score of this game is going to finish 3-0. Thank you to everybody for tuning in as well. I really appreciate it. I love going live like this. If anyone is watching and hasn't liked, go on, drop a like. Dreaming of hitting 1,000 likes on this stream by the end of the game. Bit optimistic, I think, but I'm going to ask anyway. And also, obviously, if you would be kind enough to click subscribe, really helps me out. And I would love to welcome you into this community. Going to be going live loads. Big lives coming tomorrow. Going live for Palace Forest. Just want to watch that game, man. It's going to be brilliant. And then, obviously, going live to watch Fulham take points off Man United with a bit of luck. And I've got a very special guest for that one. Sam in the super chat here. By the way, thank you very much to everybody for getting involved. Sam says, yes, Rory, mate. Lovely start to the day seeing Tottenham beat City. Not for you, no, most certainly not for me. Brilliant performance. I don't take anything away from you. Don't you think it's weird, but bogey teams in football are a real thing? Yeah, they are. They are. Like Chelsea were Tottenham's bogey team for 27 years. You know they didn't win at Stamford Bridge for 27 years. You know they didn't beat us at White Hart Lane for 17 years. 27 years they didn't win at Stamford Bridge for. A lot of that run, by the way, was pre-Abramovich. But no, bogey teams are a real thing, undoubtedly. Undoubtedly. Oh, and Odebert does really well here. Odebert's got 3 men around him. 3 men and a little lady. Right. Oh. This is really, really impressive stuff from Tottenham so far. Really impressive. Thomas Frank. The absolute boy. No doubt about it. And it's frustrating as you can possibly think. Tottenham have finally got it right. You know, in regard to their manager, they have finally appointed proper managers. They have finally got in the kind of manager that they need. Like, they have had so many managers that have just not been fit for purpose. You think over the years, don't you? Like, you remember Christian Gross, David Pleat, George Graham there, David Pleat again, Jack Santini. Do you remember when Clive Allen went in there? Do you remember that? Do you remember when Clive Allen was a Tottenham manager, genuinely? Clive Allen. And like that's not even the worst of them. Wande Ramos, Andre Villas-Boas, Tim Sherwood. You know, Ryan Mason, they gave him that cup final. Espirito Santo was a disaster. After all of those years, we just have to acknowledge that Tottenham, painfully, have finally got it right. Not good news. Not good news for anyone. A super chat has just landed. This one is from the Alex Church. Alex Church has said that Ruben Diaz is incredibly overrated. I don't necessarily think he is. I think that there was a time when he was impenetrable. City nearly got one back there. Free header over the far side from Bernardo Silva. Loops it. Doesn't quite go his way. But no, there was a time when Ruben Diaz was undoubtedly one of the best defenders in the world. He is not living up to those heights at the moment. I completely agree with you. Bernardo Silva, mate, gets that all wrong. He needs to just find Haaland. Just nod it back across and Haaland has an open goal. I don't know why Bernardo Silva didn't just go straight across. I think he's trying to loop it into the far side. And he got it wrong. The ball is at James Trafford's feet and we are in the 83rd minute. Put it this way. Manchester City are not winning the game. They're not scoring 3 goals from here. And I think Tottenham are looking more likely to score goals. This is about as good as it gets from Frank, don't you think? Like, this is literally about as good as it could possibly get from Thomas Frank. Gosh. City spraying it long. Rodri out to Doku. Let's see what Doku can do. He's got 1 to beat. Can he beat him? 2 to beat now because Tottenham are working so hard. Mohamed Kudus, another brilliant performance from him. And it's so easy for Tottenham. Oh my God, it's so easy. Dominic Solanke holds it up really well. Tottenham look after the ball beautifully into Van der Ven's feet. Surely you just go long now, get rid of it. Into the keeper's feet. Just go long, surely. Don't be an idiot. Yeah, he goes long, exactly as he should. Dom Solanke chasing it. The ball is won by City, brought down by Rodri, who under pressure immediately. Thomas Frank is the absolute governor. Painful to admit, but absolutely true. Thomas Frank is the absolute governor. And they're resorting now to Phil Foden striking the ball from about 35 yards. That is how they are looking to break down this Man City team, this Tottenham team. They have no way through, is the bottom line here. They have no way through, and they are therefore just resorting to a Phil Foden pot shot from a million miles away. Yeah, it's just been great from Tottenham. Great defending from Van der Ven. You know when Doku starts dancing in the box over the left hand side, Phil Foden like about to strike or whatever. There's just always a Tottenham player there. There is always a Tottenham player charging it down. It doesn't matter whether it's Richarlison, it doesn't matter whether it's Solanke at the front starting with the defence, whether it's Porro at the back, whether it's Van der Ven, whether it's Bentancur. Palhinha, excellent. Throughout Tottenham, they have just got this so right, so accurate. And I'm telling you, Thomas Frank is... it's the right appointment. They're bringing on that Bergvall now. Oh, Blondie, call me. Call me! He's coming on. And, I mean, he's a very good player. He's highly rated. Really highly rated. And it's Mohamed Kudus going off, who, again, has played brilliantly. It's been a great start to his Tottenham career. I thought he was man of the match in against Paris Saint-Germain. Man of the match in that game. Absolutely brilliant. Bergvall on. And mate, Frank, man. You go away to City and you win 2-0. Statement result. Phil Foden standing over. Phil Foden's Barnet looks different. Into the box. No one there. And Phil Foden puts in the most pathetic tackle. And it's Porro running the length of the pitch here. Porro plays a brilliant pass. Absolutely exquisite pass there into Bergvall. Bergvall beats his man. Bergvall's in a box now. Picks out. If he had... His Odebert has hit it. Picked out by... It's a great break. Great breakaway move. Bergvall does so well here. Porro did really well. Then Bergvall does really well. Just skins his man. Skins his man. Gets into the box. Wisely picks out Odebert. If Odebert had let that run, there is a freedom of the park over the far side. Angling pass. Can Haaland keep it in? He can. Haaland's onto it. Done well, Haaland. Bernardo Silva. Easy little pass. Clamped. Absolutely clamped there. My God, that was a clampage. I think it was Oscar Bob. Oscar Bob was dilly-dallying on the ball, mate. Got absolutely walloped. Absolutely walloped. Welcome to the Premier League, sir. That is football in the Premier League, and that is what Manchester City don't have enough of, and that is what Tottenham have an abundance of. Fighters. Bergvall late on Aki there. I think it's going to be a free kick. I think Bergvall got one in the nether regions, we'll say. In the nether regions. Sam in the super chat says, Ruben Diaz is definitely winning off the pitch. It's irrelevant, isn't it? He's getting battered on it. Kieran Rainbow asks, will I be rooting for Lampard at 3? You know it. You know it. Congratulations to Coventry as well. They got their ground. Massive, massive, massive. And that is a victory for football. That is what we want to see. I've loved this stream and I'm so grateful for you all tuning in. Remember, we are going to be going live tomorrow twice. We'll be live for Palace Forest. What a game that is going to be. And then we will be live with a special guest for Fulham versus Manchester United. And I look forward to seeing you then. Please do come along for it. Also, do me a massive favour. Click subscribe. I would love for you to join this channel. I'd love for you to be part of what I'm trying to build here. Going to be going live loads. Got loads of content coming out. So please do consider clicking subscribe and joining the community. They just don't have any answers, City. It's all so tepid. It's just all so tepid. Tottenham fans are loving it in the away end there. Look, you can see him going mad. It's so easy for them there. It's just so easy. Thomas Frank having a time of his life. What a man he is. City running out of time, but more importantly than running out of time, they're running out of ideas. They've conceded defeat. The Etihad is emptying. And that mistake from James Trafford at the end of the first half has been so costly. Changed the entire dynamic of the game. Gave Tottenham something to defend, something to hold on to. And Tottenham have done that resolutely. Tottenham been the better team. Tottenham deserved the victory. No doubt about it. Jeremy Doku trying to skin his man with his usual little flip-flap into Reinders. He's clueless, man. Out wide. They're going nowhere. They're on the road to nowhere. Do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do. Throw in Jeremy Doku. We are now entering the 90th minute. We are entering the 90th minute. We are about to see how many minutes are added on. 64? What's going on? 6 minutes. Must be 6. Oh, no, it's a sub. Palhinha's going off. I thought he was holding up the board. Palhinha, what a game. What a performance. What a signing. What a man. Brilliant, brilliant signing. Exactly what they need. And they're bringing on Ted Danso. Just shoring it up. Shoring it up at the back. Yeah, brilliant. Brilliant managerial work from Tottenham. Bring on Danso. Calm the whole thing down. An extra defensive body. Even if City get one back, there's 3.5 minutes left. The Etihad is 50% empty. Out to Doku. Excellent first touch. Doku versus Porro. Bergvall charges down the cross. It gets over. Haaland gets his bonce on it. Drops to Foden, who makes a total hash of it. Bernardo Silva makes a total hash of it. And there is a break on here. Dom Solanke's in quite a lot of room. And it is 3-on-4. Tottenham players are flooding the box, though. Tottenham are really going for this. It's out wide. Take it to the corner flag. Don't do anything crazy. Yeah, Sarr, clever. Takes it all the way to the corner flag, then blasts it all the way back to Van der Ven. Exactly what he should do. Into Bergvall's feet. They're losing a minute here. This is excellent. Thomas Frank, I don't know what more I can say to you, sir. I hope you see this, because you are an icon. You are the governor. Look at this. This is Tottenham. Tottenham playing with efficiency and intelligence. That is so Thomas Frank. That is not what we are used to seeing from Tottenham. It is just excellent work from Thomas Frank, and he deserves nothing but credit. And I'll tell you what we've got to do. We've got to give a lot of credit to Daniel Levy. And I know Tottenham fans don't want to hear this. Solanke's 1-on-1. If he can get his shot off, he scores. Good save from Trafford. It drops. Corner Tottenham. That is game, set and match. I mean, Trafford does well, but, he's had a stinker, hasn't he? He's had an absolute stinker. It's not all his own fault. I think Guardiola deserves some of the blame. I think Ruben Diaz deserves some of the blame. Don't ask your keeper who doesn't want to play the ball with his feet to play the ball with his feet. Bit of a soft header in the end from Odegaard. I thought he had to be a bit braver. Take a touch. Good save from Trafford from the first one. I think he could have brought it down though, Odegaard. Just be a bit braver. Take a touch. Take your time. Thomas Frank. Lovely John Smedley he's wearing there. Looks like the governor. Right, Pedro Porro's about to whip it in the box, but I wonder if he'd be better off just taking his shot. Minute 15 to go. Just take it short. Keep it in the corner. You waste 45 seconds in the corner. You might get another corner. They're actually going for the jugular. They're going for another goal here, Tottenham. Take it short. What are you doing? No, it's in the box. What are you doing? Okay. Oh, my God. The loose ball is picked up by Tottenham. Sprayed out wide with a lovely outside of the boot ball to Pedro Porro. Surely you take it in the corner now. They want another goal. Got to admire it. I would have been in the corner flag, trying to win corner after corner after corner. And it's a good tactical foul there. Nathan, Jesus, Sarr. I don't want to give a Tottenham player a standing ovation. I'm not going to do it. But I came very close to giving Sarr a standing ovation for that moment there. Absolutely exquisite football. Exquisite. Really brilliant from Sarr. Right, Jeremy Doku on the ball here. Two up against him. There is less than a minute to go. Well, there's 30 seconds to go. Phil Foden gets it across. Good cross. Bergvall heads it out for a corner. That should be the end of the game as a contest. There should be no way back for Man City now in terms of winning the game. There is a consolation goal on offer for them, however. The Etihad is 50% empty. Big head here from Tottenham is required. And the big Tottenham head lands on the ball. Picked up here by Phil Foden again as one last opportunity. And it is obviously charged down by Pedro Porro. And that is the end of the game as a contest. And what we need to say here is Tottenham have been magnificent. Tottenham have done so well. Truly brilliant. The ball is still in play. I'm surprised. Referee still not blowing the whistle. Tottenham are still fighting, hungry for every single moment. Great leave there from Bergvall. And that is game, set and match. The game is finished. Manchester City 0, Tottenham 2. What a performance from Tottenham. What a statement from Tottenham. Everything that we have said about Tottenham over the past decade, everything that we have learned about Tottenham over the past decade is well and truly over. You know when it ended? It ended in Spain. Winning that silverware in Spain, the club have a new look, the club have a new feel, and they are now to be considered a really serious club. Do you know how they've become a serious club? They've become a serious club by bringing in a serious manager. The Tottenham manager, Thomas Frank, deserves a standing ovation. The way that he has marshalled his team, the way that he has got his team playing, the way that Thomas Frank has done so well in securing victory, the way that he has got his Tottenham team set up. They defend from the front. They fight. The sprinkle of stardust that Thomas Frank has put on so many of his players. And do you know what? One of the most impressive things, like Thomas Frank was the obvious appointment. It was an excellent appointment, and it was exactly the kind of appointment that Tottenham needed to make. Daniel Levy, to his credit, has finally got it right. Not only have they brought in a proven manager who is exceptional at what he does, Thomas Frank is proven. Thomas Frank is the governor. Thomas Frank deserved this opportunity. He actually deserved an opportunity of managing a big club like Tottenham probably 3 years ago. That is how good Thomas Frank is at management, and he has got his opportunity now, and he is doing incredibly well. You look at the way that Tottenham have set up this season. You look at the way that Tottenham have performed this season. You look at some of the performances. Look at some of the performances from players that we didn't think were very good. Richarlison today covered every blade of grass. He fought tooth and nail for his team. He did everything possible to secure his team a victory. He was selfless. He wasn't petulant. He fought for his team. He was a provider. He put his neck on the line for his team. He put his head on anything that was crossed into the box, and he did everything that he possibly could to make sure that Tottenham won the game. He wasn't moany. He wasn't petulant. He wasn't wasteful. He was the archetypal selfless centre-forward in this Thomas Frank system. And fair play to Thomas Frank for redefining and reimagining Thomas Frank. You then look at the performance from the variety of midfielders. You look at the performance of João Palhinha. You look at the signing of João Palhinha actually and what that tells us about Tottenham. Signing a player like João Palhinha tells you what Tottenham are about. It tells you that they are destined to be a serious club again. João Palhinha doesn't go there if he doesn't think that there's something going on there, because he is an excellent player. You do not leave Bayern Munich to go and play for Tottenham unless you believe in the manager. And Palhinha signing for Tottenham changed that midfield entirely. You then look at the signing of Kudus. They went to West Ham and they took one of the best players outside the top 6. They went and they took him. That was a brilliant signing. They did their best to sign Morgan Gibbs-White. It didn't go their way. They slept on the Eze thing, and that is another thing. What a moment it is for Tottenham to win today. Off the back of a tumultuous week. Off the back of a week where it felt like the ceiling was crumbling in on Tottenham. Where it felt like Tottenham were going wrong. Where it felt like Thomas Frank, people were saying, they've lost out on a transfer where they were the only team in the race. They've lost out on a transfer to Arsenal. That's their place in the food chain and all that. Bad week for Tottenham. Bad week for the perception of the club. Bad week for the feeling amongst the fans. What does Thomas Frank do? Closes out the noise. Sets his team up with aplomb. Sets his team up perfectly. And that is the way that Thomas Frank has conducted his business. And it is truly, truly brilliant. A super chat has landed here from Sam, who says, where you was in 2008 when the mighty Reds won the Champions League against you and your reaction. Mate, I was in the stadium. I was in Moscow. I was in Moscow in the pouring rain. It's terrible. One of the worst days of my life. And that year, by the way, we lost to Tottenham in the League Cup final at Wembley. Jonathan Woodgate's goal. Like, that was the same year. Painful, awful year. Avram Grant, man. Avram Grant, never forgive him. But with regard to Tottenham, it's really important to acknowledge the contribution of Thomas Frank here. And it's really important to acknowledge that going away to Man City and winning there on the opening day of the season, it has a huge impact both on Tottenham and Man City. Manchester City, to win the league this year, would have been thinking about creating a fortress at home. It would have been about their home form. It would have been about how can they get on at home? How can they make sure that they pick up maximum points at home on virtually every single game this season? Suddenly, everyone has shown that there is a blueprint. There's no fortress at the Etihad. This is a brilliant day for Arsenal. This is a brilliant day for Liverpool. This is exactly what you wanted. You have seen a vulnerability in one of your rivals. On some level, you discount them as rivals here because you don't lose your opening game of the season at home to a team like Tottenham and genuinely think that you're capable of winning the league. And you look at the way that they lost it. They self-imploded. They offered nothing. Tottenham were masterful. Thomas Frank set them up with vision. Thomas Frank set them up perfectly. But I tell you what, it is absolutely huge. And Thomas Frank is the governor. He really is. You look at the performances from some of those players. He has got them running through brick walls. And you know when you think about the starting lineups of the two teams, you know when you look at the Man City midfield, Oscar Bob, beautiful footballer, gorgeous feet, the way he moves the ball, so intricate. Shirky, a visionary. Reinders, unreal last week. And then Omar Marmoush, this prodigious goal scorer. You know when you think about that midfield, Bob, Shirky, Reinders, Marmoush, give me Sarr, a fighter, a warrior, every day of the week. Give me João Palhinha, an experienced fighter, a combatant, somebody who is so up for the 50-50s. And Bentancur, now's know-how, vision of how to win football matches. Look, Oscar Bob is probably a better footballer than Sarr, but Sarr is a winner. Sarr will affect the game. Sarr will win. Sarr will run every blade of grass. Give me a Sarr over a Bob. You need both in the team. But what you can't have is an entire midfield built on expressive footballers. Where's the Steele? Where's your Michael Ballack? Where's your Sarr? Where's your Palhinha? I really do think that it is so important to acknowledge quite what they are building. And I guarantee you this. Thomas Frank is the governor. Finally, Tottenham have got it right. When you think of all the managers that they have gone through, the terrible decisions that Daniel Levy has made to get to this point, Ryan Mason was their manager for a cup final. Nuno Espirito Santo was their manager, a man who is never going to chime with what they're building. They had that Stellini in charge fairly recently. Juande Ramos, Clive Allen, Jacques Santini, Martin Jol, terrible Tottenham managers. You go right back. George Graham, a terrible Tottenham manager. Do you remember when they had Tim Sherwood? Do you remember when they had Tim Sherwood? They had Clive Allen. And that wasn't that long ago. That was only 2007. Clive Allen. And all of that journey, they have now appointed the right man. They now have the right man in charge. And signing a man like Thomas Frank, bringing a man like Thomas Frank into the club is exactly what they should do. Like, there is absolutely no way that there was a better manager out there than the manager that they've brought in. And look, I just think that Frank is going to revolutionise this team, and Tottenham are now a serious football club again. That's what we've learned today, right? That is basically the bottom line from today. I don't think it's news. I don't think that we learnt this today. I think that we learnt this when they won the silverware in Spain. I think we certainly saw this when they went toe-to-toe with Paris Saint-Germain. When Thomas Frank outthought Luis Enrique. When Thomas Frank's team outfought Luis Enrique's team. When Thomas Frank's defence, makeshift defence, kept Doué quiet, kept Barcola quiet, kept Kvaratskhelia quiet, kept them all nullified for 70 minutes of the game. No shots on target, 70 minutes of the game. I think at that moment we learned that Tottenham were a serious club again. But today, you go away to Man City, opening weekend of the season for their home fans, right? First home game that they've had this season. It was a proper performance. It was a statement performance, and it's the kind of performance that changes the trajectory of both clubs. Whatever you think Man City were capable of this season, I'm not saying it's now not capable, but it's affected, right? Did you think they were going to win the league? If you thought they were going to win the league, one of the reasons that you thought they were going to win the league was because of their home form. Their home form is now penetrable. We now know that they can lose at home. Like, teams that win the league basically lose one game at home all season. They might lose none at home all season. Man City played one, lost one. To Tottenham as well. You know? I think that there's something going on, and Pep Guardiola looked totally out of ideas. Patrick Smith says Pep Linda's sluggishness was prevalent with Klopp. Was it? Patrick, this interesting point, mate. I think you know more about that than me. I would never say that I would think of Klopp's teams as sluggish, unless I'm misunderstanding. But I'm not sure I would agree. But look, there is no doubt about it, in my mind at least, that Tottenham have done something massive today. Tottenham have done something significant today. And whatever you believe Tottenham were capable of at the beginning of the season. Like, I always thought that Tottenham were going to have a good year. Primarily because they brought in the right manager. I think these decisions are always reliant upon the manager. Whatever you think of a club, whatever you believe the club are capable of doing, it will always be reliant upon the manager. And they have finally brought in a manager that is serious. They've brought in an excellent manager, a manager that is comparable to the very best, a manager that is undoubtedly Premier League proven, and a manager that is astute and knows how to win games. He set up his team today to win the game. He sensed the vulnerability in that midfield, and he made his team so robust, so physical, so aggressive. Then he sensed that Manchester City were not going to amend their outlook for their amended personnel. And this is a flaw of Guardiola. If you change your personnel, you have to change the way that you play. What you can't do is change the personnel in goal and expect the personnel to do the same job as the previous man. Ederson's a better footballer than Trafford. Why are you asking Trafford to play out from the back? He's not that guy. If you change the personnel, if you play Trafford, you have to change the system. And they haven't changed the system, and it has caught them out massively. Absolutely huge. Now, I tell you what, the pressure is on for Liverpool this weekend, because you already have the opportunity to establish a 3-point gap on Man City. The pressure is on for Arsenal, because you already have the opportunity to establish a 3-point gap, and I think that in itself is absolutely massive. You've got Liverpool taking on Newcastle. In fact, I was going to say that they need to win this week. They actually don't. That kind of game is the kind of game that you need to get out of the way, and you need to not get beat. I would say that they just need to make sure that they do not get beat in a fixture of that magnitude. I'm looking at it here. The Tottenham fans are going potty in that away end over 3 floors. The Tottenham fans are celebrating, going wild. Imagine if I was in there. How long would I last? I reckon I'd get launched off the top tier. But, I mean, it's a massive day for those Tottenham fans, and they should be over the moon. They should really be over the moon. An absolutely huge statement victory for Tottenham today. Saw a man possessed. Richarlison. You know, I sent Flav a text where I basically went, Richarlison he's the absolute boy. He's a king. Richarlison deserves nothing but praise today. I think Sarr deserves nothing but praise today. João Palhinha, unreal. Van de Ven, unreal. Porro, unreal. The keeper did what he needed to do. Big. And if you're a Tottenham fan now, I think that you're allowed to start dreaming. I think that you can start actually thinking of challenging for the top 5. I think that they are capable of finishing within the top 5. And basically, you bring in a manager as proven as Frank, that is what can happen. That is what they are capable of doing. A really, really big result. Massive. And that result moves Tottenham onto 6 points. Like, they won their opening fixture, didn't they? They've now won their opening 2 fixtures. And this is crucial. Do you want to hear something massive? Bearing in mind they played Man City. How many goals have Tottenham scored this season? The answer is 5. How many goals have Tottenham conceded this season? Bearing in mind they've played away at Man City. They've conceded none. Do you see why they're serious? Do you see why they're capable of doing something quite significant this season? If your foundations are scoring loads of goals like they were for Postecoglou, but you concede loads, obviously you are going to struggle, right? But if you don't concede, and then you've got players who are capable of scoring goals, Brennan Johnson's always good for a goal. I don't even rate him, but he's always bloody scoring. I've got to change my assessment of him. I'm going to do that. I'm going to change my assessment of Brennan Johnson. I always see Brennan Johnson as a little bit weak. I always see Brennan Johnson as I don't know, I don't rate him. And literally every time I watch him play, he scores. Always a good goal as well, back post finish. I've kind of got to change my opinion of him. Then you've got Richarlison. Then you've got Kudus, who's always asking questions. You've got Kulusevski to come back. You've got James Maddison to come back. Like, I am inclined to say that when you have players like that doing what they do, you really are capable of doing something massive, particularly when you've got Van der Ven. You've got Palhinha protecting Van der Ven. You've got Palhinha and Van der Ven protecting Vicario. You've got Vicario protecting the net. There is something going on at Tottenham, and it is a slight worry. This has been emotional. I need to remind you now that I'm going to be going live twice tomorrow. I'm going to be live for the Palace Forest game, and I cannot wait for it. Palace versus Forest. It is going to be fireworks, and I'm going to be live for that game, and then we're going to have a quick break, and we're going to go live again for the Fulham versus Manchester United game, and I've got a very special guest joining me for that show. The super chat has just landed from Conan here, who says, if Tottenham play City every week, they win the league. I mean, they are a brilliant team, this Tottenham team. There is no two ways about it, and they have an exquisite manager. Before you go, can I ask you a massive favour? Please give this stream a like. Please click subscribe. I love going live like this, and I love chatting to you all. So thank you so much for joining me. It has been emotional. Click subscribe. Go on. Really helps me out. Can we nudge up to 355? That would be a dream come true. If you are watching and you haven't subscribed, go on, do it now. And I will see you all tomorrow for double lives. Got loads of more content coming up, and I look forward to seeing you all in a bit. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Ta-da!